Another week, boys, and another pod. This week, we're back. Sorry for missing last week, and I don't know how long we've been out, but we're here. We're going to be talking about Destiny today. We're going to be talking a little bit about Arc Raiders, Pokemon stuff, because only one person here actually cares about it, and a little bit of New World and some other things happening with some game directors and whatnot. How's it going, everyone?
It's going good.
Going good.
It's going well.
Yeah. How's Pokemon?
Thank you for making sure it's really clear that only one person cared. Yeah.
Is it better than Power World? That's the real question.
For you, no, not at all. No. Not even close. You want to shoot your Pokemon. Like, that's what you want to do.
No. I don't want to shoot my Pokemon.
You want to shoot them.
Work.
I just want them
There's a big difference between
to work for berries, you know, and to create the greatest base in all the land.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I knew that about you. I knew that too. And so I'm telling you that ZA is not the game for you.
So the Pokemon can't do hard labor. Is that what you're telling me?
No, you can't make them do manual labor for you. You also can't shoot them. You don't have a gun. So yeah, I knew that you wouldn't. It wasn't the game for you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll steer things back into Destiny 2. Most notably, the leveling changes. We've got Festival of Lost coming this week, which is going to be a 6-player activity. Essentially altars, but a spookier version of altars. But let's talk about the leveling changes. How are you guys feeling about leveling after Bungie has done the adjustments there in the portal?
Have any of y'all actually tried specifically to do portal activities to level since the changes?
Yes.
Or have you just been playing the game? Okay. I wanted y'all's
I've done
take.
the bonus drops. I only did the activities that had bonus drops, and it was really convenient. Like, really good. It's almost like this is how it should have been in the first place. But that's another topic for another day.
For sure. Well, I mean, so you think it's a positive change? Like, leveling feels good now?
I don't know if it's... look, here's the thing. That was the content, was leveling. Now, everyone is reaching 550, and they're all going... What do you... And by the way, you're already asking that question before you even hit 550. Like, you're kind of like... You're sitting there at, like, almost like... If you're at 500, you're probably already asking the question, like, what's the point? Because all of the content puts you at minus 30. If you're playing Ultimate, you're at the minus 30 delta. You're set at these deltas. There is no advantages for over leveling. Pretty much over leveling to 550 is just a means of flexing and a means of finishing Guardian ranks. So do your Guardian, if you want to get your Guardian ranks and stuff and hit those higher level conquests. But there's no real big reason to be 550 unless I'm missing something. Actually, hold on one second. Hold on.
Yeah, I think in the process of trying to bring everything down to fix all the gripes about how annoying leveling's been, to get tier 5's access earlier, you've created the situation where there's this like progression kind of stops at a certain point to where there's no reason to go higher. And we're going to get the same leveling next. I mean, we're not getting an increase next expansion. So what's the point?
Yeah.
You just do it naturally, just over time, just through playing.
Yeah, I was going to say, the reason I asked y'all if you did portal specific activities to level is because I didn't. I've been playing the game like I usually play the game, so y'all could probably guess what I've been doing. But I will say I've been leveling much faster, and because I don't see a point, I never got to 450 before the increase. I don't see a point in getting to 550, especially without a future increase. So I personally, even if the changes are positive and it feels really good now to grind power, I won't be doing it because I don't see the point. And like, I'm just trying to find what is fun for me in this game right now. So like, I got a new bug this week to low man all the raids. So I started doing that this week. But like, what is the point of hopping into portal activities and doing something that I find really boring, even if it's better than ever to level? Because what am I leveling for other than to flex?
Right, because there's no level increase going into Renegades.
No.
There's no reset. No.
I do think it was a good change. If this makes it feel good for people, it's just, we go back to the topic of, okay, so now once you get to 550, you don't have access to harder content. You don't have access. Like, what are you doing in the game once you get to 550?
I think you were hitting on something really important there, Liv, saying that you weren't doing any portal activities to level, which really gets back to the heart of the portal activities feel like they're just kind of put there in order for you to grind them, whereas you're actually playing the real content of the game, which is the raids. Like, you're playing that, and you're seeing increased leveling there, which is how you should be playing the game. You should be doing the stuff that you want to do and actually enjoying it. And that's where you also get power increases. But now that you can do that, there's no point for you to go back and play just the portal activities that are Caldera, that are just meaning kind of just there for the sake of grind.
We had some comments about you just grind God Roast then. let me say this about grinding God rolls. Once you reach 450, doing that activity and locking in a God roll is so easy. With 3 traits per column, and they're all enhanced. Dude, getting a God roll now, once you reach the level cap, has never been easier. Matter of fact, I would argue to say right now, getting loot in Destiny is the easiest. The fact that you can now, if you're a new player, you can load up Destiny, you could get 300 level gear right out the gate. You know, it take you, maybe a few days to get to the 450 territory. If you're really, really hitting it, I went up about close to 10 levels in an hour, and I was really kind of like fucking around. You know what I mean?
That's what I did as well.
And that was at 490, essentially 490 to 500. And
that's exactly what I did. I did 490 to 500 in like an hour.
But it's supposed to be even faster than that if you're under 400, right? And so, I just feel like now is easier than ever. But do you believe that loot in our game has lost its value? When I say lost its value, it doesn't mean that the loot isn't good. But when we compare it to loot in the past, was loot more special when you had it and the next guy next to you didn't have it?
Of course, like the way you're framing the question, of course it's more special if the guy next to you doesn't have it. Like that's objective. But do you think that we shouldn't be getting weapons with 3 perks in each column when you reach max power? Like, that the question comes like, what do you want changed about the loot that we get so that the guy next to you doesn't as easily have it? And they changed the grind so that more people can get to 550 because people were complaining that the grind was too slow and monotonous and boring. And so now that they made it easier, yes, everyone's going to be at 550, but they're playing the game to get to 550. And so they're going to have the same loot as you. I guess it kind of just goes in a circle of like, which piece of that do you think is most important to change? Grind to 550, but even at 550, don't get multiple perks in a column?
I think tier 5 shouldn't be guaranteed at all, except for raids and dungeons.
So you think it should be like skill-based tier?
I think it should be tier 4 should be the max you earn, and then tier 5s are random drops after just playing the game. And then raids and dungeons, 4 feet and above, guaranteed tier 5s. That's the only thing. I think right now, tier 5s, like Cross was saying, they're super easy to get. And how many of us are gonna play Renegades for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, get all tier 5s, and then play something else, and then go back to Arc Raiders?
Well, if they aren't doing they're doing no power increase for Renegades, and right now your tiered loot is based on power, then do you think they will switch the way that you guarantee tier 5s? Because, or is it just going to be like, yeah, Renegades launch day, everyone gets tier 5?
If you time gate it, people will be upset.
I think they have to change
they have
how
to
tiered loot is awarded.
Something, because I mean, they don't have to do anything, but yeah, it's going to be very odd walking into day 1 of Renegades and almost everyone's just getting the end game version of all of the loot that's available.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine some change, but like you said, Les, I mean, time gating it, that's not going to feel good at all. Like that's exactly what we complained about previously, is that you couldn't just earn your way up to tier 5 gear.
But here's my question: when were people getting excited about loot before Ash and Iron? I think the time we got excited was when we were grinding solo ops, and then you get that prime and it being a tier 5 because you're so.
Were you
used to
excited about loot then?
I was. Every time I saw a tier 5, I was like, oh shit, I got a tier 5 because it was random. The fact that it's guaranteed now, it's just like, all right, I'm getting tier 5s left and right. There's nothing really special about it. Yes, I'll get the god roll and then go to something else.
That wasn't a pointed question, by the way. I was genuinely asking y'all when the last time you felt excited about loot is, because I get excited about raid loot, right? Like I get excited about getting good rolls on raid loot. I'm not someone who power grinds, so that whole like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a tier 5 from, I'm just gonna grind this solo activity till I get it. It's just not the kind of player I am. So that doesn't excite me, no matter what the power grind is like.
Solstice to me was the best time I had grinding loot in this era of Destiny post Edge of Fate. I think that at least where I was getting some tier 3s. Like I had the chance to get tier 3s and some tier 4s if they were holofoil, but I wasn't high enough to that those were like very common. And so just every once in a while I'd like just happen to get one. Yes. Yeah. And every one I'm checking like, what's the roll on this year tide Apex? What I get. So I mean, that's the most fun I had. Like it was enough to where I was happy with, like I was getting base rolls at tier 1 and tier 2. But then every so often I'd get that shiny or I'd get that tier 3. And I'm like, yes, this is what I want. So yeah, that's just my experience personally.
So it was the chase that you can always get something better. What got you excited?
I kind of agree with you, what you have to say about them not being guaranteed less. I think having the opportunity to get the tier 5 every so often to me was like like super excited.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. If everyone has tier 5s, nothing's going to feel special. But then
exactly.
I think I heard Cross mentioning this yesterday, when people pay for something, so like they're paying into this tiered armor loot system, and then if you can't get tier 5s, I know people will complain like, oh, I'm paying and I can never, tier 5s never drop for me and I can't get them. And like if they made it skill based and you had to be at a certain negative power delta in order to get tier 5s, I know you've suggested that in the past, Les, they'd be like, oh, well, I paid for this and I can't do content at that skill level, so I'm just never going to get a tier 5, and I have a problem with that. I don't know if Bungie has a win there, like an easy fix.
I personally, like, this is just my philosophy on how it should work, and people are welcome to disagree. I don't think that there should ever be a time where you cannot earn a tier 5. I think that should be, even if it's a very minuscule chance, always be possible.
Yeah,
because I look back.
I'm with you on that, Luke, as well.
I go back to one of my favorite pieces of Destiny 1, which is the end of every Crucible match. You'd see what rewards everyone's getting. And even if someone else, like, even if you weren't the one to get the exotic, obviously it's kind of annoying when someone else in your team gets it. But look at that slight chance that you might get an exotic at the end of a game. And everyone in the lobby knows, like, you earned Universal Remote, or you earned Galahorn, or something other crazy. I loved that personally. I always loved that.
But you're talking about exotics, though, Luke.
Yeah, but
when exotics were rare too, and not marketing campaigns.
Yes, and so that's a whole conversation about where the loot rarity is in the game. But the question we have now is, where is it? Because we're all getting the max stuff at tier 5, and exotics are freebies. So there's nothing that has that. And so I think that it's very easy to implement a system where there is a small chance of a tier 5, no matter if you're just starting out or later into the game. But you can increase the chances and the harder difficulty
deltas,
content. But
I just don't like guaranteed tier 5s right now.
I agree. I think the guaranteed is just too free. Maybe you do that as like the first reward of the week, and like, all right, you've done the weekly check-in, you get a guaranteed. But for every single run of stuff, it just feels a little bit too much.
I think for events.
Let me just pause right here. Oh, says the streamer should not be advocating. First up, Les and Liv both have full-time jobs, and they just stream whenever they have some available time. And Luke is honestly, he plays less Destiny than ever before because he works for me. So to make a comment like that, I'm the only one up here, I guess, that is your quote-unquote toxic streamer that wants to make the game harder for you. Loot does not really mean much to me anymore in Destiny, and hasn't meant much to me since Onslaught, when Onslaught Into the Light was out. That was like the last time that I cared really about anything. Everything else has been kind of like, I'm going to get a God roll for that, for, just to have it and hit my checklist. But Onslaught Into the Light was the last time that I truly felt like really like passionate about what I was grinding for and securing those God rolls.
It's just
I almost think that the grind for loot right now, and not that it's exciting enough, but this is just my perspective, it's not even the weapons anymore, because everyone can have tier 5s and getting a God roll is easier than ever. It's the armor bonuses, getting different armor sets, and then getting the stat spikes in getting the roll of the armor that you need for a certain build. That's like what you're grinding for more often than not now. And so in order for that to work and for people to feel good about it, because like the bonuses need to be really good, people need to be talking about them, and it's this weird balance of, if they were so good that they were broken, people probably wouldn't think the game was very well balanced, but then they have to be exciting enough for people to want to grind armor. Because I mean, if you only have so many perks in a column on a weapon, people are much more likely to have the same weapon than to have the same exact build and be able to like spec into the same stats and have the same bonus set with those stats. So I think it's more armor oriented, and I just don't get excited about armor personally.
I just can't keep it. I can't keep all the armor.
There's no vault space. There's no vault space to keep it.
I deleted as much as I could this week because we're about to get in a festival and we're about to, find space for all of this new stuff. And I mean, like, I love the armor sets. I think Bungie, I mean, they they're thinking outside the box, adding these armor sets, which is honestly something that a lot of other games already do. But whatever, we're finally getting it. It needed to happen. And, we had not had any major armor changes in years. But I can't keep all these damn sets. Like, I'm just at the point now where I'm just like, I'm just deleting tier 5s, like deleting tier 5s. And I'm not even talking dupes. Like if it's just like, if it's a set that I just deem as like, not S tier, I'm deleting it because I just don't have the vault space. Which I guess is fine in some ways, but I would tell you a huge reason why I quit the first Ascendant was I hated the grind what you need right now and not grind like the rest of the game because you can't hold everything. Les, did you notice that when you played the first Ascendant? It's like grind what you needed right now for your specific build and everything else just deletes.
I played a lot of first Ascendant as well, and I couldn't. The inventory management was difficult for me in that game too.
Mm-hmm. I know that people don't like crafting, but I feel like crafting for armor sets would have been really nice. Swap out the bonus sets whenever you want and use currency for it.
I think Bungie got rid of crafting because they were like, people will grind something for 4 or 5 weeks, whatever it is, to guarantee that you get the pattern if you get one red border a week. And then they don't play it anymore. But now, like, we get the tier 5s, you get all the perks in a column. It's so easy to get a god roll, and then you don't care about that. I got a Yeartide god roll before. It was like right after Desert Perpetual Normal came out. I don't care about Yeartide anymore. I'm never going to care about it again. And it was really not that difficult for me to get it. So
this is the problem with Destiny, and it's happened so much, is that Bungie makes a new system but doesn't think about everything. They said, hey, we're making armor sets, we're bringing a bunch of tier weapons, but vault space is coming in 6 months, so got to figure stuff out for 6 months. Like, if you're gonna do something this big, vault space had to be a priority alongside
at the start.
It needed to be a priority because everybody was already okay. There's some people that were like, I'm not slammed with loot, I only keep a couple things. But for people that play everything in this game, you kind of want a god roll of every weapon. That's the chase for most of the end game players, is I want a god roll of everything. And if it's
a looter shooter, why wouldn't you want to get god rolls of all the weapons that you grind for? Yeah.
It just we're in the scenario now where we can't keep anything, and Bungie keeps making new stuff, and it's like, Bungie, we can't keep everything. This needed to be priority with the vault.
So
initially.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're kind of going back and forth here because originally it was, got to turn the tap on, finally got to let people get level up, which of course is going to involve getting tier 5 drops. And the reason why we're bringing this up is because we are going into Renegades and we just don't know how that system is going to be handled. And it does seem like we are returning to form, which is like what we were in the past with Grandmaster Nightfalls, where you were always at that deltas. And it seems like that's exactly what we're going back to. Yeah, I think it may be
reverting a lot of changes.
Yeah. And by the way, minus 30 right now for Ultimate is not that difficult.
Bad.
I think people keep thinking it's the old system. Minus 30 is crazy, but
minus 30 was crazy before.
But it's like,
when I go in to test stuff, I usually go in at minus 30 just to see like, is this decent? Like, and that can be with stuff that's good, and that can be with stuff that's bad. And like, if it's bad, I'm gonna have a bad time. But
I see a lot
it's not impossible. It's like just harder, and that's solo. That's not even with a team.
I think that people get scared of it because of the past. So maybe Bungie's not very good at communicating what those are supposed to feel like now. But I see a lot of, you just say that because y'all are streamers and you're like elitist and you play high level stuff. But I really don't think negative 30 is bad, even for the average player. So
no.
Can I just say, I liked the system at one time where it was weapon crafting and random drops. I was okay with that system. There was a lot of people that said weapon crafting destroyed the game. I thought there was already so many resources committed there at that point to the Enclave and weapon. How we're still going to the Enclave. We crafted the axe here recently. I thought it was a good middle ground. It gave people some, like seasonal content stuff, gave them the opportunity to go out and get the red borders, where I'm coming from. But then like the high tier loot, I just wanted either weapon crafting to be more elaborate, maybe even include things like what GGG has in Path of Exile, which is like corruption orbs or whatever else. Much easier said than done. But I've always just wanted Bungie to go back, have that system, but go back to giving us pinnacles back in Forsaken. Why don't we have a system anymore where it's you gotta be a certain level in comp to get that weapon? You got to hit max level in comp to get Not Forgotten. That was, dude, you want to talk about the golden time for competitive? That was it. Yes, there were people upset they didn't get Luna's Howl Not Forgotten. But man, I looked I remember the day we were at Bungie and they talked about getting rid of Pinnacles. And they mentioned they were getting rid of Pinnacles because everybody essentially, they were best in class. Reclusive Mountaintop was like at its height, and they were getting rid of Pinnacles because a lot of people were upset that, you know, they were too good, or that they you know, couldn't get those weapons because it required them to play comp or whatever else. And to me, I just was like, dude, that's gonna kill it, man. Like that's just, like Pinnacle, and they try to replace it with Rituals, but Rituals never compared to Pinnacles. 21% Delirium, Mountaintop, Breakneck, Recluse, Not Forgotten, Luna's Out. Dude, you remember these weapons like it was yesterday because, man, they were that stand out to you. And so you have red borders or a checklist of weapons that people can get, you know, and mitigate RNG with the red borders. But then you have these super high Pinnacle weapons that you do have to get good for to get. And Raid Loot's a great example of that too. The difference between Raid Loot is that you can have someone carry. I guess you can have someone carry you in comp too.
I agree with the crafting and having the random rolls. I was perfectly fine with the crafting system. I would have rather they just swapped it, because they had crafting for the raid loot and then they had random rolls for the seasonal stuff. I think it should have been swapped. I think the seasonal stuff, that's like the not really awesome stuff to grind usually. I mean, Heresy was, I guess, good, but you just have that be where your crafted stuff is for all your different roles. And then for the actual Pinnacle, what should be the Pinnacle raid gear, that's the random roll stuff that you actually have to spend some time like getting the perfect roll of.
And I think where a lot of people came out, especially like I say streamers or YouTubers came out and they were against weapon crafting, I felt like a lot of that was misdirected, because what you're really upset about was that exotics have completely lost their rarity. You go look at your season pass, it's full of exotic Ingrams. You know, you all your exotics have easy sources to pretty much get outside of, or direct sources. There's and a lot of them would always kind of like have the nostalgia, being like, you remember when Galahorn dropped for you the first time back in Destiny 1, you know where I'm coming from? But now these days it's pre-order bonuses, it's season passes, and like you can get it like the first level track reward for a premium season pass. And it's like exotics have lost their prestige. Lost it a long time ago. And maybe that's just the 10-year game. Mm-hmm. That's just maybe just the reality of it, because it's like, you know, I don't know. But I mean, that was misdirected in my opinion.
What would you think? I mean, real quick with the crafting stuff, Cross, do you think multiple perks per column kind of ruined the game in terms of value of loot?
No, because, okay. If you're going to go this route where you have random rolls still, right, that you have to earn, imagine how bloated your... Luckily now, I can have potentially a PV and PvP roll within the one weapon by having multiple traits. So Bungie, I think, is making decisions not just based on like, hey, is this going to have good retention or whatever, or are people going to like this loot? But then they're having to work, and they know that there's vault issues and vault constraints. Mm-hmm. And that is like, I've even heard, you know, different conversations take place where it's like, we got to buy more time to get to the point where we can make certain systematic changes which will allow for vault size to increase or vault improvements to occur. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there is an overwhelming issue with Bungie's system with the amount of loot that we have and what we can keep, that they are very aware of. And so these conversations in the past, I even heard like you know, got to make it to Renegades, you know, to address these issues, these problems. So the multiple trait conversation is like, yes, if it was just a single trait, that would definitely bring in more retention. But then I'm having to keep potentially 8-9 rolls of a single weapon.
Mm-hmm. This is where crafting would come in, though. Use a corrupted orb to get an additional perk per column.
Yeah, but
so
I think that crafting
giving you the perk or not giving you the perk and it destroys the gun.
Les, I want to go on this a bit further, because what you're talking about is something that I've thought crafting should be for a long time to some extent. And that is, I believe the final form of crafting should have been you having the ability to like get all of the perks onto a single gun, and not like at the same time, like you have every perk at the same time. Mm-hmm. What I mean is that they're all on the gun and you can swap between them at any point you like. There's no running back and forth between the Enclave and like, oh, I got to switch to my PvP version of this. That's what it should have been, of like, oh, I'm using this in this activity. Let me quickly swap my perks and it's good to go. And you're essentially building out this perfect form of that weapon where you have the ability to put anything on it at any time. And I think what you're talking about with this corrupted orb could have been the process in which we achieved that. But that's where I think crafting should have landed.
Yeah, because I mean, crafting could work with that though. Like you get a weapon, you have a god roll, you're like, I can get one more perk though the chance of breaking the gun or is the chance of adding another perk to it per column. And you do it, and then next thing you know, your gun just breaks. Or you do get that additional perk in the third column. You do another orb, and it does like an additional perk in the fourth column. And then, like you said, get to that point where like this weapon that you've invested so many materials into has become the role, or to gamble as well. And there may be ways of improving the percentage of it actually working and not, but crafting in that sense, I feel like would have been.
Cammy put out a really good video this past week where he said that the Destiny community, when they say they want more grind, what they're really trying to say is they want to gamble. And that is so true.
I saw his video. I thought his video was great.
It's a great video. And
yeah.
But here's the thing. What are we gambling anymore? There's nothing to gamble. Like that he makes a great point. Loot as a whole has been eroded, and it starts from the very top. It starts from exotics. It's been eroded. It doesn't mean, you get it for your build. All right. You know what I mean? Like you go, everyone can pull an exotic Ingram and go focus it right now. You could pull an exotic Ingram and go focus it. Right now, if Bungie was to come out right now and be like, if they were to come out and be like, you know what? Your exotic Ingrams. We're going to make this shit really hard to get. Now it's just going to be an annoyance.
It's too late though.
That's what I'm saying. Like
right,
now,
but like,
now
so then it's a lose-lose for them.
Yes.
And I do think that they use a lot of, I know they said like, oh, these quality of life changes, like with Edge of Fate, I think was a huge just guinea pig situation for them. Like, let's try as many things as we can. And now they're in the point of having to like walk them all back, which is a waste of their dev time and resources that are already scarce, which I think is a problem. But then like we're discouraging Bungie from trying anything ever if we don't let them try things. It's just a very weird, like you need more staff, you need more play testing. You can't just launch things in the game and hope that they go well and then walk them back. Like there's a deeper conversation to have there. But I do think that red borders, crafting, grinding for god rolls, it all comes into this conversation of, I think that we had a good balance between some loot in the game being craftable, some loot in the game you still had to grind for god rolls. Like during Into the Light, none of those were craftable and people were grinding for them and their shiny variants, and that felt good, and you still had a bunch of craftable weapons in the game. But then they spent a ton of dev resources going into raids, like updating raid loot to be red border, and then people were excited about going back into old raids and getting patterns. And then they're like, just kidding, no more crafting. Now we're going to have to go back into all the raids again and make it tiered loot, because we have tiered loot now, not craftable loot. And it just seems like so much redundancy for the sake of like, let's try this system and see how people like it.
That is true.
Yeah.
They just updated so many of the old raids.
They just updated them. And I think it's a really good way to get people to go back into the raids, but we just went from, oh yay, red borders, to now, oh yay, I really want tier 5 Vault of Glass loot. Like I want a tier 5 weapon from an old raid, but you just got the pattern. And so yeah, I think there needs to be more thought on what systems the player base wants and what actually works and doesn't prior to them launching out. Like
what
at a
you need
mass
is
scale.
good vision. You just need good. Like that's
absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
You need to know. Exactly
By the way, we're speaking from a retrospect point of view right now.
Yeah.
So anyone's a genius when we're you done gone through it. You done hit all the fucking potholes.
But I would say so far, let's look at something like the narrative. I think everyone would agree that the narrative for the Edge of Fate and where we're going with things seems pretty like decent. I think everyone's kind of on the same page that the narrative team's doing a good job.
Yeah.
And we've heard time and time from the narrative team that we have this thing all mapped out. We know exactly, we know where we're going. Like there may be changes to the direction of how we get there, but we know what the final destination is. We know where the story's going. That's vision. That's the vision that needs to be on the Destiny loot progression side as well.
What if there is a vision, but the vision is shit?
The vision, they had a vision. No, Cross is right. There was a vision for Edge of Fate. There was a vision for the portal. There was a vision for the way that we grind tiered armor and loot now. And there's even a vision to like bring that tiered loot into dungeons and raids over time. But is that vision what the players wanted? Is that vision going over well? On the narrative side, yes. On the raid and dungeon team side, like their vision for what a raid should look like, even an epic raid, I think that's even going over well. The vision for what the grind should be for loot is not going over well. It's not that they don't have one. I just don't think it's what people want.
Sorry. I should clarify that. You need a good vision. And if your vision is garbage, then you got to chuck it out and get a better one.
But sometimes you just don't know if the vision's garbage, so it actually goes through.
You don't know until you try. That's what I'm saying. Are we discouraging
And that's
Bungie
where
from
I'm
trying?
fine with like it being redundant, because if you have to iterate on it a million times to get the right answer, then okay. But hopefully you avoid that and you get it right the first time, like so many other of these things have. The raid in dungeons is another example. It's like
this has been a problem with Destiny for 10 years, where nothing comes out the way it should have come out, and it always takes them forever, or 6 months to a year, to get it right. If this system for leveling was how it was in the beginning, I think the reset would not have been as bad. Think about it. Would you guys be upset with the reset and Renegades if this is the leveling system that we would have had beginning of Edge of Fate?
You talking about Destiny to vanilla launch with the reset?
No, he's saying
he's talking about like
Edge of Fate power leveling was the way it is now. Would the reset not be as bad? That's what I'm trying to say. They take so long to get stuff right. And that was my biggest complaint with Edge of Fate. I don't think they're gonna get stuff right.
Like if
you wouldn't care about power
grinding, start from zero right now,
if you start from zero right now, I don't think it's that bad. I think it'd be, you play the game, you get your stuff.
So you're saying that Bungie is course correcting too hard.
Yeah, well, they reverted. They're like, oh, y'all don't want a power increase. Yeah. We'll just not power increase it. We hear you. But what people really were trying to say in that moment is it feels like shit to power grind, so we don't want to power grind. And now that they fixed the power grind, but they removed the power increase, maybe it wouldn't have felt as shitty with Renegades, is what I think Les is trying to say.
It's the problem of having the entire thing being half-baked and then trying to bring about the changes to fix that, and then getting rid of the original recipe, which was it wasn't bad. There was a piece of it that was bad because the system wasn't set up right. Exactly. Now that it is, you could set us back to zero, and I think people would be able to get tier 5s.
Well, not even to zero.
I'm not gonna lie to you, although I think
back to 200. That's it. That's all we need.
Sure. But the point still stands of that you could set us back, and with how things exist now, it would be fine. We would get tier 5s pretty quickly.
I do think it's tainted though. People had such a poor experience with Edge of Fate. Even if Bungie says right now, oh, power leveling's better, or even if that's the general player sentiment, they kind of just need to already you ruined the player perception of this thing, this power grind, and people aren't going to come back and do it again, even if it's easier. So I do. Yeah, I think they screwed themselves in that capacity.
But it's it's the
same topic we talked about. It's still a third. And before people even knew what Edge of Fate was going to be, before people even knew if it was going to be a good expansion or if the power grind was going to be fun, the numbers was still a third of what it performed in Final Shape, Witch Queen, and Lightfall. Guys, what I am concerned about is all of this efforts being put into D2 to try to overcorrect all this shit when you just gotta move on, man. And I agree. I like D3 or a Destiny vanilla launch. But hold up, none of this is possible if we're gonna be in a situation if you come out and say we're making a D3, and in 3 years we're gonna have to cut all of the vanilla content that you're going to play at launch. Yeah. Well, you know what I got? You cannot do that. I want to honestly, who's the systems engineer here? Who look, we did a whole script on the Tiger engine. Who was the guy who was originally over the Tiger engine?
I don't think I was a piece of that video.
Okay.
So I don't have the knowledge on that.
There's one main guy. And I just,
I do remember that. The one guy.
I want to talk to him more than I want to talk to any game director, any narrative lead. I want to talk to him and be like, hey, listen, is this shit fucked? I just need to know, is this shit, are you guys never going to be able to make this forever game that we're hoping y'all can make? Is that just an impossibility? And it was interesting because we just did the script for Microsoft and Halo, and they've got the Blam engine. They've got components of the Blam engine where they're keeping the feel of the game, of the Halo games. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Luke.
So I'll bring some clarity to this because I think hitting on this is important. I think that because the Blam engine, so everyone knows, if you haven't don't know the history of the engines that have powered these games made by Bungie, the Blam engine is the original Halo engine, which got split off into what was the slip space engine for the Halo games at 343 and the Tiger engine for Destiny. And so that original Bungie code is in both of those franchises, and it's only recently now with the newest stuff that they're working on where they're getting rid of even the slip space engine. That's being taken, that's out of the picture. They're no, we're not working with this anymore. We're going all the way onto Unreal. Now, they are still using the Blam engine because if they're doing a Halo CE remake, in order to keep that original feel of the game, they need to. But in their newer titles, they're completely abandoned. If they were to make a Halo 7, all of the updated versions of the Blam engine is just gone. It's just all Unreal now. and we're still in a situation with
say
Bungie
why?
where they I think overall, like with the shift to Halo Studios, like it's a complete rebranding of their content strategy and how they're making the games. Like there's a lot of shifts that took place behind the scenes, but there was a discussion that took place with one of the developers who works on the engine at 343, and I don't know if he's still with Halo Studios, but he talks about how there's still vestiges of old code from the Blam engine in when they were working on a Slipspace engine, and how he'd go back and you'd see those little tidbits.
Is it Slipspace or Slipstream?
It should be Slipspace, not Slipstream.
Okay,
I will double verify that.
We have a chatter saying it's Slipstream.
Slipspace.
It is Slipspace.
Because Slipspace is it's the Slipspace engine.
You come in here, you say some shit like that.
Slipspace is Halo lore stuff. That's like they said did the same thing with the Foundry, like it's pulled from Halo lore names. Okay. But anyway, my point is that another thing to mention there as well with the switch to Unreal is that because they were constantly updating this old engine, 343 was both a tech company and a like game development. Like they were working on their own game engine, and part of the reason in the New Dawn like announcement that they gave is we're just consolidating to making like the game. Like the game is our main focus. The engine stuff is being handled by the Unreal people. Like they make the game engine. Mm-hmm. So it's just that. And so there is definitely tech debt that exists. If it existed for 343 with Slipspace and their iterations, 100% it still exists for Bungie's Tiger engine. Absolutely.
And that's just way fucking bigger too, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, my that's my question. It's just like, I don't want to go down the path of a sequel if we're just going to run into all the same issues. And that's disregarding whether or not you've got the people to even make a D3, the funding, or even the creative bandwidth, or even gameplay mechanics or whatever else. You know what I mean? I just want to know, is the foundation you're building the shit on, is it going to hold? You know, because obviously that it's not holding for Destiny 2 by this point. And maybe that's why, I mean, obviously money's involved with this, but maybe there was some truth to why Activision wanted a D3 and a D4. I mean, when you think about it, you know, you build your campaign, you do all your shit, you launch it on a D2, and then you don't get rid of it. You just move to D3. And that way, if somebody wanted to know narratively what's happening, then go jump on D2. And, you know, because we were supposed to get, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 Destinies, right? With Activision?
Mm-hmm. Every 2 years you get one. Yeah. I think it was every 3 years you get a new Destiny.
Yeah, I think what you're going into here, Cross, is a little bit more than even just tech debt, because I think the real issue that's been caused by this sticking with D2 and removing old content is like debt that you have with the community. And this is the same conversation with exotics being given away for free. It's the same conversation with like people not knowing what to do in the new player experience, with you can't go back and play all these great stuff from Forsaken, Red War. And it's just that Bungie has made so many bad decisions over the years that they're having to still make up for those. That all of this, half the work is just making up for terrible decisions they made in years ago that the people who are there now weren't even a part of. And that's like, for instance, when we talk about something like the exotics, someone made the decision, let's give out exotics and market them as like, this is the highlight piece of like, hey, you hop in, you're going to get this for free as a seasonal reward. Someone made that decision.
Yeah, I mean, that's money. You know, that's just money.
And now we have a situation where there's no loot rarity because all the exotics are given away for free.
Yeah.
And the same thing with content. It's like the new player experience sucks. Why does it suck? Because someone decided that, you know what? We have to get rid of the old stuff in order to make new stuff. And now it sucks. No one knows what's going on. And you have to have a 5-minute video to explain all the story, which even that doesn't do a good job. It's like, oh yeah, here's all the mystery of the game removed, and you're just super bored right out the gate. So it's a combination of both technical debt and decision debt from all of the choices that have been made leading up to this point. That this is the redundant piece of the conversation. This is the stuff that constantly has to be fixed. And yeah, a start over, fresh start where you can fix more of the decision issues, to me, is an absolute yes.
Yeah.
I just don't know why they would start a whole new saga and not make a new game. It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't.
Money.
Plus, it's a resources thing. Yeah, it's money. It's resources.
I know,
there's no
like,
other.
There's
no other.
By the way, I'm not saying it's a good excuse.
I'm not excusing it. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying
money.
that that's real. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
for sure. But man, dude, it's like you guys they set it up so well, and then they just said, "No, we're gonna keep going with this game." It's like, why not just do a new one?
Because
everyone was expecting a D3. Everyone was like, we expect a D3 eventually.
If you're talking about like the end of D2's lifetime, like what you would have wanted to be D2's lifetime, you had Witch Queen, Lightfall, Final Shape. There was no suffering of player count for the launches of those expansions, and Lightfall arguably had the most hype. I think it was more.
It was supposed to be Final Shape as well. It was supposed to be Lightfall and Final Shape.
Sure. But like Lightfall itself, they had such a good marketing campaign for that I think that if it would have gone well, I don't know if we'd be sitting here today being like, oh God, I wish I would have a D3 right now, because I'm not really sure that the game would be in the state that it's in today. I know that's probably a controversial take. It's much deeper than that, but I'm being surface level here. I think players started to lose a lot of trust in Bungie and what they were making for us and what they could deliver on. And now we're like, holy, they should have been making a D3 back when they were also making Witch Queen and Lightfall so that it could be ready for after Final Shape. But back then, when they were making the determination on do we start building D3, yes or no, for when this saga's over, I think the game was in a good enough spot where they were probably like, nah, that's not.
They were making another game. It's called Marathon.
Why would we make Destiny 3 when we've got?
They all converge to Marathon.
Yeah.
God,
I'm just saying
And now Marathon's going to get its ass beat because our graders.
Is this our transition?
I don't know. I don't know if we want to transition or not. I'm
okay with transition.
Well, here's the thing. I'm excited for Festival of the Lost. I hope the 6-player activity is good. I hope it's not just going to be like
PvP activity too.
Yeah, they got the PvP activity. I like Halloween events. I like holiday events. So I do think that November. They've got the whole what did they say? Was it the arms week or whatever? So we'll see if these things they do it, man. They do it. All I know is the competition is fierce, and I'm seeing a lot of parallels with the expectation for Renegades that also existed for Curse of Osiris. So many people looked at Curse of Osiris. They're like, all right, this double primary system was ass. All this stuff is a problem in the game. Bungie, you're going to make these fixes, these changes. You know where I'm coming from? And Curse of Osiris obviously couldn't address that. Now, be quite honest with you, I actually feel like Bungie was in a tighter hole going into Curse of Osiris / Forsaken. Because those were major systematic changes they had to make. We went from a double primary system and static roles. Now, it took many years to get to the subclasses corrected. But so they had, but at the same time, they had 3 studios working on this shit. They had a lot more people. And they were completely devoted to Destiny. That's all they had.
I know I see a lot of people be like, oh, but resources, that's not real. They don't have fewer resources now. They have billions of dollars and shit. But they really do, we should make it clear they really do have fewer resources now than ever. I think when they were at the table deciding, do we start producing D3? Destiny's in a really good spot. We know we have this end of the saga that's going to perform really well. Do we launch D3 after, or do we continue with Destiny 2? And they were like, actually, we would prefer to manage multiple IPs that all do well in their eyes. We'd rather multiple IPs than have one really good, amazing IP that, continues its lifetime and it can last decades. Because Destiny had that potential, in my opinion. I think they chose multiple IPs and they were like, let's start developing Marathon. Let's start, we're going to work on other games. Destiny will live. It'll survive. The player base is there, but we're just going to divide our resources up now. And then we've seen how that's gone for them over the past few years, especially after Lightfall. And
is the player base, as y'all see, because by the way, there's still people trying to make excuses for the data that was shown last week. That data was extremely bad.
Of the player count?
It tracks all platforms. I still have people coming out being like, Cross, that's just Steam numbers. No, it's not. That's all platforms. That thing is tracking literally everything. Yeah. And it's showing Edge of Fate, not Edge of Fate, but where we are now, post Ashen Iron. It is just nosedived off the fucking cliff here. So,
I think this is a good segue into the ex Call of Duty director comments, because this is can we blame Destiny for wanting to diversify and have multiple IPs that do well, or should they have just stuck to their golden child and put everything into Destiny for as long as Destiny could possibly live? Because this week an ex Call of Duty director, Glenn Schofield, he said that Call of Duty is going to get the Halo treatment, and it's going to get what happens to a lot of really strong IPs is that they get absorbed by these giant companies, Activision, Microsoft, Sony, whoever it might be, and they lose their identity and they pick up the traits of the studio that like acquires them and starts working on them. And because these giant studios seek profit above anything, of course Bungie's going to try to diversify their portfolio. Of course they're going to want to make Gummy Bears, Marathon, whatever it might be, on top of Destiny, because well, that means more profit. That means maybe you have multiple giant games. It's the potential of that is like at some point you're like, Destiny is doing well enough to where I don't really have to care about a Destiny 3, but I do care about Marathon because I want to make multiple IPs that are successful. And I don't know y'all's take on the Call of Duty comments. I do think that he was sort of like patting himself in the back a little bit, but the last time that a Call of Duty game won Action Game of the Year at an award show, or he says the last time that there was a high quality Call of Duty game is when he worked on them. And he was over Modern Warfare 3 and Advanced Warfare. And he says that he's extremely concerned about the future of Call of Duty as an IP or as a game, because it will start to just become Microsoft. And he thinks that game quality decreases when studios are absorbed by these gigantic companies.
Too many cooks in the kitchen is a bad thing.
Well, sometimes too few in the case of what's going on with Microsoft. But
but like if we're talking about that, all the major games that are released recently are pretty small studios. E33, it's got max 50 people working on it. Megabonk is one person fucking doing it. You don't need 1 million people working on a game. The more you have, the more like clashing there is on what you want the game to, because everyone wants the game to be different. You might have similarities here and there, but some people have different visions for it. And that's when it starts to get problematic.
My thoughts live on the diversifying the game for like profit's sake. It's not just having multiple games, it's having multiple games that don't cost as much money to make.
Yeah.
Because Destiny costs a lot of money to make.
Yeah.
An extraction shooter costs less money to make. And who knows what Gummy Bears would have looked like, but I think they were banking that these games would be similar in profitability, maybe not the same as Destiny, but they're going to cost us way less.
Well, none of them even made it out the door, though. So, like, obviously,
I know
that's the main thing. It's like if we were living in a world where even just one of those games made it out the door, then I would be like, the only one that made it out the door was Destiny Rising, and Bungie had literally almost nothing to do with that. And that's NetEase, and we don't even know how much money they're making from that. Gummy Bears gets taken away from you. You realize your parent company has to come and be like, you guys have fucked up so bad, we're taking this project out of your hands. Come here. You guys are now part of Sony. And y'all come the fuck over here. You're going to make your game under us now. You understand? And then Marathon, which was supposed to come out in 2024, but because someone decided to play Truth or Dare, it fucking gets delayed until goddamn 2026.
I think that's just but you get acquired. Giant company has these profit goals. You bite off more than you can chew, and you have this big vision, and then none of it works out for you because you bit off more than you could chew. And you also
but Bungie
you could argue that it's just greedy
either, though. Bungie was doing good by themselves.
They were doing.
I'm not saying that.
They were. We don't know, Les. We don't know.
Destiny 2 has been better when it was under Activision.
You don't know what was produced specifically.
They've made better expansions under Activision than by themselves or with Sony. The only expansions they made good that were.
I don't know that I agree with that.
Final Shape, Witch Queen. Those are the only good expansions since they left Activision.
But that's 50-50. Lightfall, and we can throw Edge of Fate in, but
Forsaken, Taken King, Rise of Iron, all are good expansions. Disagree or agree?
Rise of Iron was not.
Rise of Iron brought one of the best raids. What do you mean? It was $30 and you got a whole new location. You had new enemy types.
I was bored out of my mind with Rise of Iron.
PvP maps.
I think Rise of Iron was one of the most overrated expansions ever. The raid was good.
Pretty overrated.
The raid was good.
If we're gonna talk about overrated, Witch Queen's pretty overrated.
Witch Queen was fantastic.
Story raid, that's everything it has. Throne World was not a very good destination. Let's be real here. It was. I don't think Throne World was a good destination.
Just because Bungie didn't utilize it correctly. Just because we never. Oh, you think the Plaguelands was a good destination?
Yes.
Bullshit. You guys got rose-tinted sunglasses right now, man. No,
I don't think Throne World was that good.
Throne World was always better than Plaguelands.
Way better.
Let's be okay. Witch Queen had a good campaign. I'll give it that. It had a good raid. Wellspring was ass.
Well,
Wellspring was fucking dog shit. Wellspring was dog shit.
I have a very I know that most of the player base
I
did
played a lot
like
of
it,
Wellspring.
so that I played a lot of Wellspring and I didn't
I
mind
played a
it.
lot.
That's my hot take.
Yeah.
That's my hot take for the day.
I had a great time playing it.
But less exactly. I never had a bad time playing Wellspring. I know I'm gonna get eaten alive for that. Like people really didn't like it, and it's okay. People don't have to like it. If most of your player base doesn't like an activity, then overall that's an L. You should iterate.
Okay.
You should not do that again. I didn't mind it though. I didn't mind it.
The circle back, whether or not Bungie made better expansions with Activision, obviously having those extra resources was really good. But to say that they didn't make anything good after Activision is not true.
I'm not saying they didn't, but I said they've made worse expansions.
Witch Queen and Final Shape were really good. And dare I say, the year of Lightfall was
solid.
Was actually a solid year.
It was solid.
Yes.
It was solid as a year.
Plunder in Year of Lightfall?
Huh?
Plunder
Was Plunder Lightfall?
No.
No, that was Witch Queen year.
Oh?
Haunted into Plunder into Seraph.
So what was?
And I know that because
Was
I
it
played
deep?
Haunted. I quit.
Oh yeah, you're right. 'Cause
Plunder,
Seraph was
and I
pretty-
came back for
okay,
Seraph.
yeah. You're
It
right.
was deep in what else? What were the other ones? Deep in
Deep Witch.
And
which was pretty good.
Season of the
Wish.
Deep.
Think about
Wish
Rise.
and Wish.
Yeah,
Think
the year life was pretty good.
Yeah, think
Deep
about
was kind of-
think about Warlord's Ruin.
That is the best dungeon they've ever made, in my opinion.
That is the best dungeon. Yeah, I agree.
That's a good dungeon.
Deep was bad though. I don't think Deep was good.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Deep
Deep was
was
bad.
them trying something very different, and it didn't work. It didn't work for most players.
I think Deep pissed people off because we still didn't know what the veil was.
That's why everybody was pissed off.
Sure.
You had to go listen to Kiyomi every week, talk some bullshit.
Yeah.
Deep had fishing, and so that was like a social feature that people liked.
We did have fishing.
It did have
Yes.
fishing. They were.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. I never discouraged
Jesus,
Bungie
dude.
from trying something new. I just discouraged them from like continuing to do it if it doesn't work. People didn't really like Deep, but I liked fishing. I didn't mind the underwater theme. Ghost of the Deep as a dungeon. I enjoyed it. Just we had comments. Traversal between sections is too long. The boss has way too much health. Like
I love that dungeon. I think it's a great dungeon. I think people
know,
gave it too much shit.
I think that the community has like this tendency to dislike something. So let's use boss having too much health as an example, and then they trash the entire expansion, dungeon, activity, whatever it might be, because they don't like a certain aspect of it, which like then leads to not so productive criticism of Bungie. Maybe don't have long traversal sections, maybe reduce boss health, but don't just say like Ghost of the Deep is shit. Because I think the aesthetic was great. I think the dungeon's great.
Contribute to it being a bad dungeon though.
Well,
That's fair, Les. I just think we need to be more specific with criticism.
The point is though, in my opinion, I think that Bungie can still make good Destiny content as displayed after Activision. But the issue is they committed. I mean, we just keep saying the same stuff all the time, but they committed to too many damn projects.
Yes.
And I think it was just purely, dude, that was a peep play. Look. If I was the head of Bungie and like Les, you and I are about to go into a meeting with some buyers, right? Mm-hmm. All right. And we just talked to Microsoft last week. And we told Microsoft, they were like, well, what you guys done? What y'all making? And we're like, oh, we're making more Destiny. And they were like, nah, not really feeling that. Well, then what we're going to say in the next meeting with the next potential buyer, Sony, is, oh, we cooking all kinds of shit over here. Oh, yeah, man. We would walk in and be like, yeah, we're making Destiny. That's our side project. Our next project is a banging game. You hear me? It's going to capture the extraction world. Marathon is the greatest thing we've ever made. Oh, if you think this was the only game we're making, Gummy Bears. We got a game called Gummy. We're MOBAs. You didn't know we made MOBAs? Mm-hmm. We fucking make MOBAs around this bitch. Oh, and we're making something called Destiny Payback. Whatever the that's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Oh, with what people? It
doesn't matter.
It's the first question I asked.
We're in full hoe mode right now. We're just trying to get a buyer. You see what I mean? We're just trying to get a buyer.
I can never be corporate. This conversation, I can never be corporate because I would just sit there and be like, what fucking people we're gonna be doing this with? Like I can't.
We sell them on the dream.
We sell them on the dream.
We sell them on the dream.
A golden parachute.
We sell them on the dream.
I said they bit off way more than they could chew. That is, like you said, that's a leadership decision. Obviously, that was a Pete call, amongst others. But yeah, they could never handle what they thought that they were going to be able to handle.
I got a question. You don't think Sony, if Bungie went there and like, look, we're about to finish the final shape, and then we'd be working on Destiny 3.
This is before Final Shape, so this would be Witch Queen.
Okay, so then you tell them the vision, like, okay, we're gonna do this whole story. This is how it ends, and then right after, we're gonna get Marathon out the door, and then we're gonna get a Destiny 3 going. You don't think Sony would have bought into that?
No. Yes, but you're missing a key point. Marathon's beta was supposed to be in 2024. Remember,
I mean, the whole Chris, yeah, that definitely.
I cannot overstate just how badly Marathon has fucked things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it has.
And that game was supposed to roll out in 2024. Didn't roll out. Yep. Then it was supposed to roll out this year. Still hasn't rolled out. And I am very concerned right now that the name Marathon is just tainted because people associate that game with Art Scandal. It's called Art Raiders Online. People call it Art Raiders.
I love that.
It's very, very. Dude, the jokes write themselves so sometimes.
Bad. And
I think they probably just thought like Destiny had been tainted, not in a plagiarism way. That's just crazy. I don't know how they bounce back from that when that's their perspective online or how they're viewed online. But I think they've probably had the take of Destiny has been really tainted in the past before and has managed to bounce back in a meaningful way in the past. So sure, we could do it with Marathon.
It's different. It's different.
I know. No, it is. I agree with you. I'm just saying that's probably like, they're probably like, wow, what? Marathon's not even out. You don't have any player base to like bounce back with.
Sure.
Yeah, they're trying not to lose people as opposed to like gaining people.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think they probably just had the take of like, we've done it before, we could do it again. Like, Marathon's tainted, but we have to try as hard as we can to bounce back. Will that be successful? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Bungie's been known to fuck up and bounce back in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late to change now. Like
it's too late. What are they gonna do?
So much. Triathlon, like, come on, like.
Right. You're gonna relaunch it, same aesthetic, and then just call it something else. Like you just have to stick with it.
So I don't think Sony's biting that bullet unless they have to.
No, they're launching Marathon, and it needs to launch.
Yeah,
just get it out there. But
I would have just gotten it now, honestly.
This takes us to Arc Raiders, which we got to play at the server slam this past weekend. Now, I've seen a little bit of negativity about it, and I completely understand. This version of Arc Raiders is very limited, but there are players that are associating this version of Arc Raiders as being the entire package. Whereas like this past summer during the playtest had way more content, and that was still not all of the content. So the content rollout of Arc Raiders is going to be immense when it launches on the 30th. Now, I completely understand where people come from where they say, I don't like third-person shooters. And like that's completely fine. I actually, like, it's kind of like Remnant. Remember when we picked up Remnant for the first time? Like, I too was like, I don't know how I feel about, I like first-person shooters. But then we started playing Remnant, and I was like, okay.
Remnant was so good.
I really...
That's PV.
Yeah. But Arc Raiders, once you learn how to deal with engagements, it's good. And so and there are many popular third-person shooter games, and I think Arc Raiders can fit that mold. But I had a lot of fun playing it, and I'm playing this past weekend, and this is like the most basic version of the game. Like I have a
question
really
for you though. This is not negative at all, because I know extraction shooters tend to be like play with the squad. But did you solo queue at all? Did you duo queue? Or did you just play stacked?
I played.
Because I solo queued. Yeah. Less solo queued.
I did I just did duos and trios.
Okay.
So I only played when I streamed, so we were obviously playing with other people.
I'd like to comment on that. Their solo queue system, I found that you would get solos all the time. I don't think I ran into a single team.
When you duo,
as long as you don't do squad fill.
Yeah. As long as you don't do squad fill,
yes,
you will match other solo players. If you duo, you will match other duos.
The squad fill experience.
I was told that Cross you match either duos or trios sometimes, depending on the player count. But
okay.
I feel like when we played,
we were only getting duos, and
It's fantastic, by the way.
Dude, the clips of Arc Raiders I've been seeing have been hilarious. The proximity chat clips, absolutely hilarious. So it was Benny, myself, and Omlin yesterday, and we ran into a group of 3 Swedish guys, and they were like, hello, don't shoot, we're friendly, and they walk past us there, and we were all looking at each other. We were all and they were like, we're just here for loot, and I was like, oh, and they were like, do you want to team up? I was like, no, we're not, we're gonna go our separate ways, and they were like, okay, bye, and so this is the interactions you have in Arc Raiders, and it's fantastic, man. again, like it seems like such a simple feature, but there are other games trying to introduce their extraction without the simplest of features. And I think that adds a lot of character to arc raiders and like even other stuff. Like I found a random flute yesterday. And so like,
dude,
I was there for that.
While Benny's in there killing people and like finishing them off, like I'm just in there jamming out on the flute for him. You know what I mean? Like it's like little shit like this that adds character to your game.
Yeah.
I had a really good time, guys.
I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was a post about how the trinkets that you have in your inventory will actually show up like in
behind your raider thing in the area.
Like, there's so many small details like that, and it's just super cool. I've seen the negativity online about this game. Like I think where
Luke
that
is a
comes from,
fanboy.
Hold on,
Wait,
let me get to it. I've seen the negativity online. I think where that stems from is just like there is already this harsh like group of players that hates extraction shooters, just period. Just like don't like it, don't care for it. And so when they see arc raiders and everyone hyping up, it's just immediate, like just completely opposite. But there's valid criticisms of the game too for even people who like extraction shooters. But me personally, I'm completely sold. I've been sold for years on this thing. The actual gameplay that we've got is fantastic. I love the sound design, the entire experience of just like fighting the different AI and how they react to you.
AI is fantastic.
Going in between like those AI combatants and the different players.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting there, I was like, let's let the Rocketeer take care of these guys, and then we'll hop in and we'll see if we can loot their bodies afterwards.
Is OP though. I think it's overtuned.
They need to be tuned a little bit down, man. I was one rocket, you're dead.
When they can 1v3 your squad very easily.
It can double fire too. You could just like get hit by 2 rockets and just be gone.
Yeah.
Like
I think the point is, and like we talked before, it's like they want it to be a scenario where like, dude, we gotta stop fighting each other and take care of this, or we're all dead.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
that's the goal they want,
if I see a team that aggroes a Rocketeer, I'm about to grief the fuck out of them. You know what I mean? It is grief city because you know they're getting their ass plowed over there. And
it is much more intense. I wish you played solo cross because it is much more intense solo.
It's very intense.
AI does not let up. It doesn't get easier when you're solo.
Have you done the harvester puzzle?
You talking about the spider puzzle?
Yeah, the one where you go inside where the queen's walking around.
We did do it yesterday, and I thought it was really fun. It was hectic. It was hectic for sure.
Yeah.
But we did do it.
I like how the game is like it essentially. I mean, this is going to be the case too with crafting and having to get the materials where you'll actually need to kill a queen.
Yeah.
But creating these environments where you're forced to engage with these super dangerous, like me and Les went in there, and then one of our runs out, we like essentially got completely destroyed by the queen trying to escape.
Yeah,
because we aggroed her.
Like, she can't see us from here, and then she just starts running at us. Like, oh well, we're dead.
And all the enemy AIs, they all have different interactions too. Like there's one called the Bombardier where it literally just stops and like shoots rockets at you constantly. You know, of course you got the Rocketeer. You've got the Leaper, which
Leaper's fun.
Man, dude, like we were on top of some stairs at the top of a building. This fucker was doing everything it could to try to get in there, and lo and behold, it's got its head stuck. Like it got its head stuck near the doorway. But I believe Embark when they said that they designed their AI to teach itself how to move, how to approach different scenarios. Like you could tell things are just not. Every engagement seems different between all them. Now, dude, they will fuck you up though. Enemy AI in that game, like you can't ignore it. You can't be like, oh, there's a Hornet there or whatever, or a Sentry. Let me just walk away or run real fast. No, your life is about to be a nightmare. You have to shoot it. Like you have to deal with it.
Even the Hornets, even if there's 2 of them and they're just on like a delay of when they're firing, you can dodge from one of the like tasers that they fire, and then the next one will hit you. So like there's plenty of situations where even the smallest turrets will get you.
Bro,
the sniper turrets are ridiculous.
We remember when we ran away, we're like, okay, the sniper turret can't get us, and then boom, come cross down. I'm like, we're so far from it. Like you cannot ignore the AI. And then I went to the tower solo this morning, and I did the whole glitch to get into the building. So I like jumped down, crawl, I got up. Turret was looking right at me. I was like, well, I'm probably dead. I tried running away, die. I'm like, well, it's like you just can't ignore. You have to destroy everything, especially when you're solo. Yeah. Well, but I first when I played it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about it, but it's one of those games where you're gonna have to learn where everything is at.
You've got to learn everything. Yeah,
you got to learn everything.
And here's the beautiful thing. I feel like I learn more in the places I die, and I have died everywhere in the first map. Like everywhere we ever go, I'm like, I died right here in this situation. how I died, what killed me. You know what I mean?
You do it again, yeah.
But there's a skill curve to it. But you're greatly rewarded if you learn that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would make the argument as a solo, because solo is really where you face the most danger if you mess up. I'd say like almost every solo run that I failed, I could point to a mistake and be like, I shouldn't have done that. I won't do that next time. Like, and it's like even one of them was just like I died too far away from the extraction point from the Rocketeer, and if I was a little closer, I could have actually gotten out while down.
Sure, sure. Well,
I had a lot more fun when I had the best weapons.
The best weapons make all the difference. And they are. And by the way, that wasn't even the best weapons either. Probably less. Did you have? I mean, you didn't have any legendaries.
I had the Tempest, which was like a purple energy auto rifle. Man, that thing just. I did. Sniper, like that combo was.
I had an epic shotgun that was pretty solid. I think one of the most interesting things that Arc Raiders has done is so they're gonna have 4 maps at launch with the 5th coming later down the road.
So the 5th one is, we'll see how that goes, but it's already in the actual menus. Like you can see it on the menu.
Gotcha.
So we got 5 in game.
But the day and night cycles changes things so much. Like going in for a night raid, man, it's spooky, bro. I mean, I was like literally on Benny's ass the entire time. I was like, you and I are not getting separated because it is fucking scary, man. And like the lights and everything from the enemy AI. But it changes things up so much. It almost feels like its own map in a way, you know, even though all it is just a flip of day and night cycles. I had a good time, man. I'm glazing right now. And here's the thing. There's like so many people like, oh man, everybody's glazing this right now. Just a bunch of people getting paid. Look, dude, I don't know what Arc Raiders is going to look like 6 months from now. What I will say is this. The Finals, who's also made by Embark, was one of my most favorite PvP games ever played. And so... I can go right now.
I love the finals.
I can go jump in the finals right now and have the time of my life. They know how to make they just know how to make a fun game. And I think they're nailing that here with Arc Raiders. Granted,
I think you should solo queue.
So polished though too.
I think if you're interested in 3-stacking, you're interested in a team, the weakest part of the game for me and queuing, like I would just rather not squad fill and only go against other solos. But then you lose that like, oh, I get to talk to my team, I get to meet new people, like that fun team chat into proc chat situation. Whenever I squad filled, you just have people that like maybe their audio is not working properly, maybe they can't hear you, maybe they don't talk back, but you're just getting like third partied all the time. And I think that's an intense situation when you're squad filling as a solo and you just never know what you're going to get. And if you go in with your good stuff, there's no guarantee that the people that you're squad filling with are as serious as you are or going to listen or that you're going to be able to do anything as a team together. And so it's almost like more beneficial to just never squad fill. Just if you're a solo, go see other solos. If you're a duo, go see other duos.
Yeah. And when I played Hunt Showdown, and I used to play nothing but solo mainly for that game outside of the few times Lesson I played, that's exactly how I played it too. It wasn't in your interest to pair up with other people because there was just too much RNG involved. However, maybe you are in a position like that and you're just trying to find something to, maybe you're just trying to take down a particular PvE enemy. You know what I mean? And so, when you look at all multiplayer games, whether it's Battlefield or any other game, like, it's always best to go in with your team, like a team already.
I think that's so fun. That is like my favorite part about games like this is proc chat. Like you said, you just have really funny moments. Like that is the most fun that I got out of the game was just bartering with people in proc chat and then queuing with random people. Like I'm not always going to have a stacked squad of Benny, right? Like I'm going to be playing the game by myself for the most part. And so the first person I match made with was actually, his name was PK, and first match of Arc Raiders for me ever. He was like, yeah, I'm a former Destiny 2 player. I kind of quit after Edge of Fate, and I watch Aztecross, and I love loot. I'm just going to go in and get as much loot as possible. And it was very, like, just coincidental that I match made with him, but it, like, he wants so much loot, and then you go in, and you're like, oh, wait, this is, like, I kind of feel bad that the tech test this weekend was so limited, even like with progression, with crafting, because I think it kind of, people like PK, people who just, they wanted loot, they wanted to craft a lot right away, they wanted to just like go scavenge everything. I think people like him were discouraged from the game because you're not going to get that real experience until the full game launch. Yeah.
I will also say, even for as much as I love like the game, like in the short time I've played, I'm pretty much satisfied with that's really comes from just, I'm kind of sick of the same map over and over. The space map by far is my favorite. And so just from the play tests. And so with this like damn battlegrounds, like, all right, it's fun, like, but I need some more variety, and the variety is just not there in the tech test. It will be there in the full game. So yeah, I'm good for the actual weekend, but once the full game comes out, like way more.
I'm good
excited.
as well. Like I've got my fair share. I've used the best weapons. I know how strong it can be. I've learned that first week of Arc Raiders is gonna be just learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because I only started enjoying the game once I knew where everything was at, or where like the best stuff is
That
at,
and
the best
engagements.
tactics, the engagements of how to go about it. Okay, so I could like, because I never really used the swapping perspective, like when you're over
Oh,
to
that's
the right,
massive.
over to-
That's
Yeah.
But then when I
huge.
started using it
Yeah.
more, I was like, wait, I'm actually kind of seeing
You have to
how the
learn.
PvP
Yeah.
is. The only thing that I will say is that the 3 peeking is like, unless you have the best stuff on, you can't just run in there.
You cannot. No.
You cannot.
You cannot. Or you throw a grenade. The grenades in that game are
Throw a
very
grenade.
powerful.
A smoke grenade is really good too. I was using the smoke grenade. I was like,
Yeah.
if I don't know if someone was there, I'll just throw it and go across and then just peek out and then like look around. But I had a good time with it towards the end. At the beginning, I wasn't that much of a fan, but I like my title today was like, I see the vision, and it was like, I understand what the hype is.
Right.
I think the first week of Arc Raiders, like if it's fun, the full game launch, I mean, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. I think there's a skill curve. I'm gonna give it many more chances before I like really have a take on the game, because I would say my first experience was pretty negative, and then it definitely got better from there the more you learn. I did a pretty deep dive on that subreddit, and there are a lot of canceled pre-orders from solo players after this weekend, and I feel bad because this test was never supposed to be more than like a demo-ish, and I think it's going to take, I don't think that they'll suffer. I think this game has so much potential. I just think that it's going to take full game launching, maybe them watching gameplay, watching videos, and then being like, oh wait, that's way better than what I tried, let me go buy the game. Because it's so anecdotal. I hate using like not real stats and just anecdote, but I have a friend who is obsessed with the finals and loves extraction shooters, and just like he's so excited because Embark was making an extraction shooter and he loves the finals, and he canceled his pre-order after this weekend because he's like, well, what the fuck was that? That was like, there was like, I couldn't progress. And I just don't think that people really understand what a tech test is supposed to be. So I hope that at full game launch, like people are much more swayed into giving it another chance.
And I want to harken back to something Cross mentioned earlier about the clips from this game. I do think that that's going to win over a lot of people who who haven't bought the game. Like the games that have these moments that you can just easily share out and like, okay, that looks like a lot of fun, are obviously going to do better. And in this case with Arc Raiders, it's got a ton of great clips already, and there's just going to be even more of them like when the full game opens up. So
I think that's any game with proc shot's going to have those funny moments. Like that's not exclusive.
Which was
to Arc Raiders.
insane why Marathon was willing to pass that up and be like, no, we're just not going to have procs chat. It's like, dude. You're
going to deal with comments though. Like you're going to deal with negative comments. They just have to have a system to get rid of those players. If there are slurs, if there are you're going to deal. It's just the nature of gaming where you can't just not have proc chat because of it. You just have to have a system.
It feels like if they create the system that the people are able to do that in, that they're somehow responsible for it. You're not. All right. This is the real world. Like we need to get accustomed to the fact that there's going to be people who are jerks and griefers and every other thing that you can imagine. And you have to deal with that. That's your job, to moderate it. So if you moderate it, like it's fine. The upside is way better than the downside.
I don't know.
My biggest wish for Arc Raiders is just that it went into first person when you I don't know. Third person just encourages you. There was a lot of camping. You can corner peek, and I think that's obviously the nature of a third person game. But I really, really like when you switch into first person when you ADS at the very least. So I don't know if Arc Raiders will ever be the game for me.
You can live.
Totally
you just the weapon needs a scope.
Yeah.
You will go into first person. Like.
Oh well, yeah.
But
that
I see what you're saying though. Like I'm kind of with you on that. Like I do like first person shooter more because you can't just like look around the shoulder and I could see while the person can't see me, and then
right.
I see that part. But
obviously there's the skill issue of like if everyone's doing it, then it's fair. Like I can shoulder peek too, and they can shoulder peek me. But obviously my preference is first person. So
I love just in solos. I would knock somebody. I would just walk up to be like, "Why'd you shoot me, man? I was just here for loot." And I would just talk to them the whole time until they just give up. And then at the biodome area, some guy just walked in and started shooting me, and I was like, and I using the best weapons, knock him, and he's like, I'm like, dude, I was talking to you a second ago, telling you not to shoot. I'm just getting loot, and he's like, that wasn't me, and I was like, bullshit, that wasn't you. But it was and then later on, like 2 minutes later, the guy that I was speaking to had come back, and I was like, wait, they just have the same skin.
It wasn't him.
Than him actually, and it's just the funny interactions, like you said, Luke, with the clips and stuff. Like I see it. I see the potential with it, and I'm just curious. Like it's so limited, especially with the playtest that we had a while ago.
That game is going to be all about prox chat for me. Like I will play that game not because I care about like getting exotics or legendaries or whatever they're called. I will do it because it is so funny to be in prox chat, and I always love games like that. But every single time I used prox chat in a match, that was the most fun part of the match for me.
It was good.
I'm excited for that.
It was fun. I'm gonna play it more for sure.
Well, thankfully we don't have to wait super long. I mean, it's
coming out
30th,
next,
so.
not this Thursday, but the next Thursday. So it's right around the corner, and I'm gonna be hitting it hard day one. I mean, I'm gonna try to get in there and get the best shit as quickly as I can. And who knows? I think it may be the only extraction shooter that I end up like investing a lot of time into.
Could you?
Yeah.
Don't make him say it.
And because it's it's just checking a lot of things off of my list right now. Not saying that we're gonna become like an extraction shooter, streamer or whatever, but this one's doing it for me. And I've never really cared for, like, I'll play a couple other extractions, but I've never really cared for them. But this one's grabbing me, man.
I'd say it's. I mean, we made the comparison to Helldivers before it came out, before we got the chance to even play it. It's just a fun game. It's just really fun.
Fun game.
And so it doesn't like the extraction part.
I wish
is
the free
secondary.
loadouts were a bit better though, and I want to self revive in there as well if possible. That's like my only request. I would like a self revive kit in solos. That's it. That's all I ask.
An epic or exotic.
Like an epic consumable where like you can actually just self res yourself and go back into the fight. Because sometimes you would just die.
First time I solo filled. Well, yeah, or squad filled. That was the issue. Is like I was talking in team chat, but no one else had team chat functioning properly. And then I'm like, we just can't coordinate. So it'd be nice to be able to help yourself. Sometimes
someone in the chat just said it. I would like to revive the enemies. I would love that as a feature as well.
You can revive them. You can.
You can.
No, you cannot.
No,
you
can't.
can.
I don't think
you can. Yeah, you can. You could defib them. We were literally defibbing them and then killing them.
Oh, you can defib them. Okay.
Yeah.
Like actual interact res. Can you do that at all? Like no.
I don't think
it
but
doesn't
you
work
could
that
defib.
way because one time I was in prox chat and I was like, please, no, we're friendly. But then the other two people on the team had already shot me down first, and the one person on the team was like, no, hold up, like let's get her. This is totally fine. Like, well, they were being friendly back, but they had already knocked me out, and he came up and tried to like res me, and he was like, ooh, my only option is to kill you, so you're kind of screwed here. And then I just died.
I didn't know that. My bad.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, defib can revive enemies.
Yeah,
that's cool. Another interesting.
Will I ever do it?
Feature.
Probably not. I'll just I'll be like, dude, I'll revive it right now, and just knock him out.
Yeah.
That'd be a funny thing though. Just every single raid, go in and like kill someone and then like force them to team up with you and see how it goes.
Yeah.
They'll be like, give me your best stuff and I will let you go. If not, I'm shooting you on site.
I personally don't want to self-rest because the window, I don't know if y'all noticed, but you are able to crawl on the ground for so long before you bleed out and die.
Yeah.
Like, that window is very long. Like long enough for the gunfight, multiple gunfights to be concluded and your team can get you back up. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what they add. We'll see what they add.
I think it'd be cool just as like a super high end tier item that's very rare.
Yeah, it's not something that should be super accessible, but
no, by no means. Like very rare. Just because like I don't know. There's just some situations where it's just like it sucks, and it's like if I had something, I really think I could extract with something good or finish this fight out, or you die to an AI at the
especially when you don't always have a solid 3-stack. You're not always gonna have a squad.
I don't think solo was that bad though.
It was a different kind of intense. I think it was fun.
Way more intense for sure. Like I was.
You just need to be way more careful because as soon as you're down, it's over. So yeah, just really be careful what engagements, getting out in the open. But as long as you don't make mistakes and you're pretty solid on your playstyle, you should be fine in solo.
Yeah.
I did plenty of solo with free loadouts because it was just like get in, get some loot, get out quickly, and then no risk and lots of reward.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to Pokemon hating.
Let's get to Pokemon hating, I guess. Well, we can talk Legends ZA, but I wanted y'all's take on. I know that everyone here played Power World, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, you didn't? Okay. I played Power World. I liked Power World. I love Pokemon as a concept. I want little buddies, and I like shooting games. So I like Power World. But Power World came out, and I would say objectively, but I know people have different opinions, was a copycat of Pokemon. in a lot of ways, and then just added in like other features. And then they have this like lawsuit going on where Nintendo is going after specifically the way that you throw out a ball to summon your buddy for battle, or you throw out a ball to catch this buddy, or like they're going after a lot of the intrinsic ways that all Pokemon games work, instead of now like they're no longer really going after the appearance and the fact that a lot of pals were direct copies of Pokemon. So they're trying different routes in this lawsuit. While all this is happening, Pokemon announced Pokopia, which is their, what I would call an Animal Crossing spinoff. It's a farm game. It comes out next year. It's a farming game, but with Pokemon. And that's going to be their first game of this type. A few weeks later, Palworld announced Palfarm, which is their farming game.
Hell
with
yeah,
pals.
baby. Hell yeah.
And so Palfarm is coming out now, was not announced, and maybe not even in development before Pokopia was.
I would keep doing that shit every single time. Yeah, every time Pokemon does something, if I was Power, I'd do the exact thing, the exact same thing.
It definitely doesn't help their case for not being a ripoff of Pokemon when they did. Like, I know they're doing this to be like, hey, fuck you, Nintendo. Like, fuck you. Look at what we can do.
Just make a better version of your game.
Exactly. Like, I know what the point of it is, but it is like, are y'all Luke? Are you seriously still saying that Palworld, the studio, is not intentionally just being like, oh, we're gonna be Nintendo but better? Like, we're just gonna make.
You're saying, am I saying that, or?
Yeah, because when I said that Palworld is a knockoff of Pokemon, you shook your head.
Oh, I think it's just funny that it's just you give it. I don't think that the person who is the innovator should be considered a knockoff. Like, the person who's bringing the new fun experience that everyone's actually interested in playing, that's doing like gaining much more interest than the other like original person who was there. That just, it's like,
you're
Pokemon
right. I
didn't
probably
innovate.
shouldn't use that word, because they again, I said they made Pokemon like the intrinsic Pokemon game, but then they added a bunch of features. That's how I described it. So in that sense, it's not a knockoff. It's a different version of Pokemon. But like, would Palworld and that studio have ever gotten the hype or the interest in the game that they did if they were just not using buddy battle system, Pokeballs, Pokemon?
You could make
like,
the argument that I think is a question that's too difficult to answer.
Yeah.
It just like,
Yeah.
it really comes down to.
Wait. Who owns the rights to cute looking animals that you can fucking send into battle? You know,
okay.
Come on.
Apparently Pokemon does now after all these patents.
Pokemon
that
does
have been
now.
put out.
What about Digimon?
Yeah.
What happened to Digimon?
Yes.
Why
Kind
did
of
Digimon get sued?
No, Digimon
I think they
has
had a recent game that was
yeah,
good.
yeah, and that game has overwhelmingly positive reviews, by the way.
But I mean, why aren't they being
think
sued?
Because Palworld took over and over and over again their game, took Pokemon, the Pokemon character design, and said,
Man.
here's it in blue. And here's it in
Come
purple.
on.
They're just mad that Palworld did it better. That's just what it
and
comes
Digimon,
down to.
But Digimon has like that flack from like Tamagotchi. You know, like it's not. I don't think that the Digimon experience is the Pokemon experience. The Palworld experience is, we're gonna reel everyone in because like if you're a Pokemon fan, you know these pals. You've seen them in Pokemon version, and now we're gonna give you guns and labor.
I think it's the Pokeball. I think if it would have been anything but a ball, if you could have thrown a fucking a Pokecube, you know what I mean? I think the cube would have been fine, and that's where they got him, was the damn Pokeball.
And then they could sue the creators of the Cube game.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. Let me go back to this before I'm eaten alive again. I played Palworld. I like Palworld. I like shooting games, so I like having a gun with I like Palworld. All I'm saying is, as a Pokemon fan, I personally don't think that Palworld would have even ever stood the chance that it did or made the profit that it did if it was not, the pals in that game are Pokemon. Like, they are. They just are.
That had no bearing on my enjoyment of the game.
Not on your enjoyment, but why do you think you heard of the game? Why do you think the game was getting as much hype as it did? Not because it's just this random, we have pets and guns. It's because it was a Pokemon.
That is a good point. But
it's Pokemon with guns.
Everyone heard that it was Pokemon
created
with guns.
the environment for that to even happen. Like, that's so that's my point. And I'm going to go back to really, really old gaming history because I like looking at the retro stuff. And when you go back to the very inception, like when video games were first coming out, like you had Pong and then you had these consoles that you could buy and your Atari.
Yeah.
there are so many knockoffs. Like there are so many of like the same, almost the exact same type of game. Go look at all the games that released those first like decade of video game. There's so many that are just the exact same thing with a little twist.
Yeah.
Like, and I think when we're talking about something that has just been there since the very foundation of gaming, I have no problem with someone being the innovator and like doing it, but doing it better. And I think that like deserves all the praise of like, you made the better game. And I think Pokemon has for a long time was making the coolest game that you could play on your Game Boy or DSi, the portable, take it with you.
Pokemon's stolen features from other games, by the way. I would like to make it clear, I'm asking the question of, do we think that Power World, like this Power World farming simulator, like they're just announcing a farming simulator after Pokemon does. Is this like a fuck you to Nintendo from them? Is this going to hurt their case in the lawsuit? Those are more of the questions that I'm posing. Sure. I think that Power World should be allowed to create, like Power World is okay. I do not think that Nintendo should be suing them.
For our start stuff, Nintendo's Japanese, right? Who made Power World?
I actually don't know.
I don't know, maybe, yeah.
I don't know.
Look, who made Power World?
Zinc, Homelander. No.
We're looking at chat.
I actually don't know.
All right. Well, Chinese company.
Pocket Pair.
They're also Japanese. No, I thought it was Chinese. I thought it was Chinese company.
Chinese.
I don't know. I'm not shitting on that company. Whatever. Copy Pokemon. I'm just saying it's like it's just.
Where
fun.
were you going with that,
Cross? Where are you going with that, Cross?
Yeah. Why are you asking if Nintendo is Japanese and if Power World is too?
By
the way, Power World Studio is Japanese as well. They both are.
So Pokemon's just making an Animal Crossing.
I thought they were going to be immune. Not that they would be immune, but I thought if they were Chinese, they probably just going to be, they're on their side of the pond, and they were like,
I get it.
We don't give a fuck. But damn, they both Japanese. Hot.
They're both Japanese.
God, you can't get away now. Well.
Yeah, I definitely think that putting out the farming game is like a big middle finger to Pokemon. That's the way it comes across. Like maybe they had it in development previously. Maybe they knew Pokemon was making that game earlier, and we're like, yeah, let's make it before they do. But then like they announced it after. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, all the more power to them. Pokemon has created an environment that desperately needed innovation for a game franchise that people loved, and because of that, Power World took the center stage. That's the reason why Power World was so received so well.
I'm just saying that Cross would not have been playing Power World if. What is the tagline for Power World that people describe it as? Pokemon with guns.
Yeah,
Pokemon with guns. I'm just saying like the reason that we all played
but it was a good game too, though.
It was a good game. I downloaded it because it was Pokemon with guns.
I think this is getting into just the semantics of like I exist because my mom and my dad loved each other a lot.
Gosh.
Like we're getting to the point of like yeah, sure, but like that doesn't really, to me, that doesn't matter too much. It's just like they made the better game.
Well, that's a take. I think they were really, really innovative, and Pokemon needed that. That's my segue into ZA, actually. So I know that Pokemon Go has had real-time rating mechanics for a long time, but the Pokemon games, the Switch series especially, but even before then, has never had real-time battle mechanics, and Power World did. Power World does have real-time battle system. So I think that Pokemon, not that they're actually spending the budget that they should on these games. I have plenty of opinions about Nintendo as a company, and they're negative, right? Like I'm never going to be pro mega corporation. However, I think that Pokemon was pushed to innovate, and they finally have real-time battle mechanics in this new game.
What's the new game called?
And it is the Legend ZA. And so it's
good?
No longer. Well, that's what we're about to talk about. It's no longer turn-based, and so I think it's really
like
different for.
Every time I've seen gameplay of it, looks like shit.
Looks like shit.
The walls. Like the building walls, brother. Like we cannot accept that nowadays. Come on.
I don't know.
Okay, so
that?
I just made a budget comment. If y'all will let me
Go.
I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to set this up. So they have real-time battle mechanics in this game. It's a first. I think if you are not like Luke, he likes DS Pokemon games. He likes the 2D Pokemon games. He's not going to play a Switch era game. Or he hasn't before. I am an all-time Pokemon fan. I like all of the games, obviously. Well, no, that's not true. I hated Scarlet and Violet, but the real-time battle mechanics for longtime Pokemon fans are kind of jarring at first because you're like, what the fuck is this? I'm used to turn-based. I can like think about strategy. I can think about what this person I'm going against is going to do next. I have time to think about my moves. In the real-time battle mechanics, if you take your hand off the console for a second, you're done because you can just spam attacks. Like there's no time to think, and there's a lot. So
Power Roll should now sue Nintendo for stealing that shit. Yeah. You get a Power Roll. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
Copyright real-time battle mechanics with Pokemon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they were. I believe that they were pushed to innovate in a way that who knows whether they would have if Power World did not have the success that it did. But they are taking elements of Power World. I don't think they're ever going to equip us with guns in a Pokemon game. But
give it time.
Hey, baby. But they took these real-time battle mechanics, and I was taken aback by them at first in the game, and they have grown on me every single time I played the game. I'm like, wait a second, I actually think I will be a turn-based girl at heart for the actual like Gen 9, Gen 10, so on games. But this is a Legends game, so for people that aren't familiar with Pokemon, this is not part of their like new generations of Pokemon. These are every single Pokemon in this game is in a previous game. It's a Legends game, so this is their second iteration of a Legends game, which is separate now. So Legends Arceus was their first, Legends ZA is their second, and these games are meant to come out in between new generations. So their Generation 10 game comes out next year. This is just a Legends game in between Gen 9 and Gen 10. And so what they were really introducing here, what they tried with Arceus was Souls-like, you're in an arena fighting a boss. That was what they introduced in the last Legends game. You have that in this game still, but player feedback was we miss gym leaders. We miss actually battling with people. There was no PvP in the last Legends game. So now you have both. You've got battle arenas. You got like Souls-like boss fights where giant bosses are doing attacks at you. You have to dodge whatever. You're enclosed in a space. And then you also have PvP and ranked and stuff like that. So I do think overall this Legends game is good, but I have a lot of negative thoughts about the fact that you like almost need a Switch 2 to play it well. It runs beautifully on the Switch 2. It looks better than any Pokemon game has looked before in terms of like graphics quality. But you have to invest $450 into this console to have that experience. So I think that's controversial for sure. I do think it's very different than games they've done in the past, though. And I am very happy that they have competition like Power World because it is forcing them to do things that are different. Would they even have released a farming game if they didn't have someone like on their back that is, maybe potentially competing with them for the first time in a long time? So I think it's necessary. I'm pro Power World, even if just for the fact that it's pushing Nintendo to innovate. There was budget information that was leaked, though, yesterday, or maybe, no, it was a few days ago at this point. $13 million was the budget for Legends ZA, which is nothing, by the way.
That is crazy.
They are making these games. I'm saying that Legends ZA is overwhelmingly positive for me, yet the budget was like abysmal. $13 million. They made it to where, so for reference, the last Pokemon game, Scarlet and Violet, sold over 27 million copies. In order for ZA to be profitable, they had to sell 200,000 copies.
That's
which
wild.
They spend nothing on these games.
How much
Nintendo
does the game
is so pro profit.
$13 million to make.
It's $13 million to make.
To buy like right now, like
60 for the game, and then if you want the Switch 2 upgrade pack, $10. So it's 70 for the Switch 2 version.
Yeah, if I was Pokemon 2, I would keep farming this.
Brother. Jeez.
This is why they don't innovate. No money, infinite profit.
Infinite profit
just
glitch.
Goes up constantly. Release the game every year. I mean, it's the same thing that
Park Raiders is $40, guys.
Yeah.
It's, very different audiences, very different games.
I know.
Just imagine if they went back to 2D, it'd be even cheaper to develop.
True.
People are just like, Nintendo, you have if this is what you can make with $13 million, like Expedition 33 for comparison, I think it was $30 million or so was their budget. 13 million for the biggest IP in the entire world is crazy. They make so much profit, and yet they don't care to spend more in the games, even though they could. So that's just a little, like, I understand the Nintendo hate or, you know, the critique from you, Luke, because it's really hard to, I just love Pokemon because I love Pokemon. I don't love Nintendo.
Yeah. Oh no, I agreed.
You know, it's hard to be like, oh yeah, they should spend $13 million on a game, even though they're one of the biggest companies in the world. It's a tough pill to swallow. The games could be so much more than they are today.
Yeah, that's really where I'm at, is that, and I agree with you. Like, it's great that like you love the Pokemon franchise, but part of the reason why I don't like it is because I feel like Nintendo is always trying to find some way to screw me over. And
Sure.
that's just in how they handle their, like, whether it's copywriting people, like not letting people for Melees like host their own tournaments and stuff. Like, Nintendo does such a terrible job at customer relationships, like across the board. They just have not modernized, and they love to do this thing where it's just put in minimal effort and churn out just a ton of money. And it's just, it's so like, again, I'll go back to the example of like, they made OLED for the Switch, but now the new Switch doesn't have it because they're going to release another OLED model later. I hate that. I actually I despise it.
I get it.
So,
I totally get it.
Yeah, Pokemon, I'm glad that there's some innovation, competition, all for it, but just make the better game, and the conversation won't even be there of like.
Absolutely. And they won't, right? Like, they won't. They're going to do the bare minimum always, because even with $13 million, they put a bunch of shit into this game that we've never had before. And on top of that, I don't even want to mention, like, you can pre-order the DLC already, and it's an extra $30. But so like, yeah, they're profit farming with their budget, but they could do so much more than they do.
It's interesting too, because they're also in a position as an established IP to be averse to taking a lot of risk, especially with a formula that's worked for so long.
Yes.
There was a little bit of Twitter like conversation recently that drummed up. I don't know if it was a new conversation that Jeb had, but I'm pretty sure he said this a long time ago, that the creeper being in Minecraft is like a thing that they wouldn't do. They wouldn't add to the game today because they feel like players would dislike it too much. Like, it had to be originally in the IP to begin with. But if they added it today, they think people would hate it, and that they would be a terrible update and no one would actually like it at all. And I feel like Pokemon is in a very similar stance. And I think a lot of other games could, like, established franchises are also in this risk averse mode. Don't change anything. We know what they like. And so they just don't even experiment to begin with. And then someone who's an indie developer who doesn't have much to lose, who's creating a new product like Expedition 33, like Palworld, like every other indie game out there, is willing to take those risks. Pokemon hasn't been willing to take those risks for a long time. Palworld's hopefully starting to force them to take some risks. So
yeah, that's all I want I want Pokemon to be great, because I love it so much that I'm going to play the game regardless. And I know that that's not usually the stance I take. Like, it would be great to boycott Nintendo and never play the game. I just love Pokemon. I'm going to play the fucking games. Like, I love Pokemon so much. But yeah, I'm glad Palworld's putting pressure on. If anything, I know that Pokopia and Palfarm are in production. Not that they're going to be the games for me, but like, I hope Nintendo is forced to make a better game, because Palworld's going to come out at the same time or around it. And if it's better, then it's going to sell better than Pokopia.
Better be the best Pokemon farming game out there.
Exactly. So I hope it's good competition.
And that's all I want to say about I'm all hated out of Pokemon. So
you're hated out.
Nintendo's got a market, and they've got their slice of the pie, and they will be good arguably for generations to come, man. I mean, it's just like, when you have kids, especially, the first console that you think of is a Nintendo, and the Mario games and whatnot. And like, I'll talk my shit about Nintendo, but if they drop another Zelda game tomorrow, I'm going to
You're on that.
I'm on it, man.
Exactly. Because you love it. You love Zelda games. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
wait, you got to switch. You got to switch too. You have to load up. Please just load up Zelda on that Switch too. It is so much better. Yeah. Cross, no, it is worlds apart.
My daughter's playing it. Kassia's playing it right now. So
worlds apart, live.
No, less.
Well, hold on. Let's be clear.
Performance is insanely different.
Wow.
No.
What? It's 4K.
It is better. But keep in mind, that was also because previously it just looked so shit. You know what I mean? So
exactly. But what I'm saying is, those games should have never been. Like, I know the Switch 2 was delayed, and even Scarlet and Violet, the last Pokemon game, was never supposed to launch on Switch 1. It was supposed to be on Switch 2. But yeah, you launched Scarlet and Violet on Switch 2 now, and it's like finally a game that I would put hundreds of hours into. I couldn't bear it on Switch 1. It looked like shit. It performed like shit. It was awful. Not because it's a bad game, but because it looked like shit. And the Switch 1 was such an outdated console. Yeah, so...
it's a good game when I willingly go back to play at 1080p 30 FPS. That's when that's how good Tears of the Kingdom is, and even Breath of the Wild. So
Destiny 1?
Not that. No, D1 is not even that good. I can't go back to D1 and play. So
Zelda over D1.
We had our nostalgia debate there for a little bit, but at this point, the only way I would ever play D1 is if it had like a classic launch or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should go back and play it. I really do. I think that you get over the 30 FPS pretty quickly. Like,
look, I've gone back and played, and I just can't. Once I went Starforge PC, which happens to be today's sponsor in this podcast, I couldn't go back, man. I couldn't go back. It changed my life to see everything at this resolution, at these frames. I can't go back to 30 FPS. So yeah, no, we would need to see a classic launch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you want to hit New World real quick before the?
Has any of us here played New World?
I have.
Les and Luke.
So Les, I think, actually hopped in and played. I hopped in to grab some footage for a video, but it was opportune timing considering the news recently. So Les, you want to head that off?
So they actually made their one and only major expansion free to all players, and that allows you to play the newest update. And if you do just have the base game, you have 2 new areas, you have 2 10-man raids, you have a couple of dungeons available, and they've revamped like the whole leveling system as well. So like the starting point of the game is not the same like it was when we played Cross. So they've revamped all of that, and it's actually pretty fun. It's pretty good. There's a lot of people playing. The story was pretty intriguing because it's like more of a like Halloween themed update now. Mm-hmm. So you have like Dracula, you have like werewolves and all that stuff. So like if you are a fan of Halloween stuff, you have the Dracula's castle, and it does visually look really good. I haven't done the 10-man raid yet, but I'm gonna be jumping onto that, and it was really good. I thought it was really fun, and the fact that the expansion is now free to everybody, you have so much more content to play. So
let me take a look at their numbers. Let me take a look at their numbers right now. How's New World holding up right now?
Probably better than D2.
New World, actually 50,000 players online on Steam.
Whoa,
pretty good.
Destiny.
Wow. Dude, I gotta say, man, I mean, I lost my life to that game when it first launched, and we played so much of the beta too. Yeah, I mean, I may check it out. That's the real question. Is it worth coming? Like, seriously, is it worth me taking the time to download and play this game again? Because it essentially will be my 3rd time. I mean, I put 200 hours into the beta. I then put another 300-400 hours into the game itself when it finally launched, like the actual game. Is it worth coming back? I would probably. Should I start a new character, or did you keep your old character?
I kept my old character because it was like I just grinded all the new stuff. Because there's like exotics now as well. I don't think you play when there were exotics, but there's like exotics now that make the weapons unique, and there's like armor pieces as well. There's like named items. So like there's like the regular legendary, and then there's like a higher tier of legendary, which is like a named item, and then there's the artifacts, which are the exotics. But PvP is a lot better as well. They've balanced a lot of the stuff. It's not just a healing spam meta anymore. You can pretty much counteract healing now with a bunch of the weapons that are available.
Is there still warring?
Yeah, there's still wars. There's new PvP modes as well. Like there was like that big was it like 30v30 something like that? But now there's like 5v5s, 3v3s, arenas. So like they've actually like done a couple of things with PvP. And yeah, I think I'm surprised they've kept going with this game. I thought they would kind of stop, but with the new update they made, looks interesting, man. And the areas look really good.
Have they updated anything graphically?
I'm not too sure, but like they have mounts as well. But so like traversing is not annoying anymore.
Yeah, that was pretty annoying.
Visually, like the new area looks sick when I went to it. So it's, I mean, if you're itching for like MMORPG to just play in November, like it's a pretty good game to pick up again.
The only way I would do it again is if we can take over a server. Like that's the only way I would like.
The server that we were in, Cross, is loaded, man. It's almost maxed out. It's just crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would only want to do it, and if we could take over a server, start warring, essentially just get everybody we can get in there. I don't know if that would be too difficult or not. Can you server swap?
Yes.
Okay.
And then they let you, because now they close down a bunch of old servers. So like they'll give you a choice. Now they give everybody a choice to just kind of go whatever you want, whatever server you want.
All right.
There's a lot of people playing it when there's a freaking queue. Like every time I've logged on, there's been a queue.
Okay.
So
I mean, it's on consoles now too. So yeah.
Yep.
And is it crossplay? Are you playing with console people?
I'm not too sure. I've only played with Bombad and like some people there to do like the raid and stuff.
Chat, can anyone confirm? Like, are you actively playing in the server with console players?
People are saying yes. So
damn, dude, I wonder if you could farm console players then. I bet that's.
He's back.
Also, they've done a lot of quality of life stuff.
He's back. He's so back. If so,
they've done quality of life stuff as well in terms of like there's no more arrows.
like you have infinite amount of arrows, so you don't have to keep crafting them. Armor doesn't break, so it's like they've done a couple quality. I mean, that's not everything, obviously, but there's a lot more quality of life stuff. But they made the game better. They made it easier to onboard, I guess, if you wanted to. I don't know. Luke, you did the onboarding process. Like we were just
I didn't like how they changed up the story introduction of it. I don't know when that change happened. I think it's probably when they did the refreshed relaunch of the game. But I didn't like how they changed up. Like I thought the original intro was just really, really good. I did think it was interesting how they set you up essentially with a class at the beginning of the game, where it's just like you're given like a rapier, for instance, at the beginning of the game. And then you like within a minute, I was leveling it up and already had like my first like attribute on it. So I think it's definitely been consolidated and streamlined as far as like how quickly you get into the game. But I didn't play much beyond just the intro because again I was just gathering footage. But I thought the new experience was interesting. I just didn't like the story like implementation of it because it felt stronger before. But
did y'all watch the Amazon show for New World?
No.
What was?
Did you?
Yeah, it was good. It was only one episode, but it was what was it called? What was the series last year called, guys? They did for Concord.
Secret Level.
Secret Level. Yeah, they did secret level episode for New World with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it was actually, I thought it was pretty good. You'll get a chance, check it out. So I don't know, Les. It's an incredible commitment for me to come back to New World. You can't just dabble in that game. You gotta
you do your life to it.
You gotta give it your all.
You gotta give it your all. And I don't know. I need some assurances that this game is going to fondle the balls.
You get to play with the best tank in the game in Bombad Eye Boogeyman.
Oh,
even that's not enough. Even that's not enough.
And you get to play with Gamer again because Gamer plays.
I'm gonna tell him. You know what? Oh, Gamer.
Gamer plays.
I'm gonna tell Bombad you said that. I think.
So wait, both Gamer and Bombad are playing New World, but not Destiny.
Yes.
What the?
Yep. Dude, Bombad is a really good tank though. Like,
all right, so
crazy.
Do you just need one tank? If I was to come back,
you need one tank in like a dungeon. It's 5 players. You get 3 damage, 1 healer, 1 tank.
All right.
And then in the raid, you can go with like 2 healers, 1 tank, and then damages. So you only need 1 tank for most of the stuff.
Look, the only way I would ever come back is if we can bully a server. I'm serious. I want to bully the fuck out of a server.
Bully it.
We need to find a server that no one, like, it's just like normal, just players just trying to have a good time, and then break that bitch. That's the only way I would ever really come back to New World. So if y'all find, you talked to Bombad Gamer, if they find a server that we could take over, and I'm talking about take over the whole damn thing, lock that bitch down, I would probably come back.
All right.
That's what it takes.
That's what it takes, I guess.
Lev, you'll have to pick it up too.
Yeah, I've never played New World, so I feel left out of this discussion.
Like a regular like MMORPG game. You have like your skills, you have like crafting and all that stuff. Different areas. You do wars to take over the area, that player housing.
We just had to fight so hard for that one territory. You remember that?
I remember that one. Yeah.
We had our one.
The saltwater area.
We had our one area, and every time I turn around, we were having a war constantly. Like it'd be wars in the middle of the night and shit. And we actually lost, not because we lost because we didn't have good players. We just kept getting attacked over and over. Yes, got this case. Yeah.
Is it a first person, third person?
Third person.
Third person.
And you're not a specific class. Like you could swap your weapons, and that determines the class you play, I guess.
Is proximity chat? Staff. Is there proximity chat in that game? I thought there was.
I think there is. Yeah, I think there is.
Okay. I don't know. I may pick it up.
What are you gonna do, November Cross?
If you do it, I'll do it.
Well,
we got arc raiders.
Well,
we got arc raiders. Hold up.
I have a baby supposed to be dropping any moment now. So
a child.
Yeah,
could,
so,
a child.
I think that's gonna.
What's happening in November other than a newborn?
Yeah. So
light work.
Yeah. Steam reviews are not kind. Hold on. What are the Steam reviews for New World? I'm very interested in this because I just don't want to. Time. Look, as much. It's always about money, but it's also
if you
just
want the
time.
best stuff, you can literally buy the best stuff with gold in the market. You get somebody that has a shit ton of money, just buy you the gear, trade it to you, and you have the best shit.
That's
You're
not
good.
exactly what I want either. You know, I want
Cross, you would love that. What are you talking about?
No, I don't, Les. I come from RuneScape, where you have to earn your shit.
Cross.
You know, granted, you can also do IRL trading and do exactly what you're talking about, but at least you have to have the level to yeah, it's saying mixed reviews on Steam, by the way, for New World. Fun fact: Destiny 2 is at mostly negative on their recent reviews.
I don't think that's a very good.
Is that
wonder
really
why.
surprising? Yeah.
I don't know about
That's
that.
shocking, actually.
That is. There you go, Luke. That's our thumbnail, by the way. Mostly. No lie. That's pretty rough, man. That's pretty rough. We've never slipped into that. So we've gone past mixed to mostly negative. And actually, I think it's getting close. Can you get overwhelmingly negative? Is that actually a rating?
That is a rating, yes.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Are we there?
I mean, I think we're getting close, dude. If we get to overwhelming negative, like if Renegades rolls out and that somehow slips to overwhelmingly negative, holy fuck. That is a big
What is
yikes.
Arc Raiders?
I mean, I will say like what is it, the last 30 days of reviews is what that is showing, because remember, like Borderlands 4 shifted from overwhelmingly positive to overwhelmingly negative, and then as performance updates came out, it went back to like positive, and I think it fluctuates quite a lot. I just don't know if it's an all-time thing.
Borderlands that mixed. Borderlands 4.
Yep. Okay. So it's gone back down.
But Destiny 2, matter of fact, oh my God, Destiny 2 Edge of Fate, overwhelmingly negative, guys. It is, in fact, overwhelmingly negative.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many games that get overwhelmingly negative. It's
depressing, man. There's another word for it.
Luke, is there a way we can even see? I don't really come across any game that's been overwhelmingly negative.
There might be a way to sort through them in like Steam DB or something. I'm not sure.
And look, I know this is, people are gonna be like, "But Cross, that's just Steam reviews." All right, well, just Steam reviews, but I just don't see that often. Even Overwatch 2 is mixed, with English reviews being mostly negative. But you gotta understand, guys, mostly negative is better than overwhelmingly negative. That's rough, brother.
So does that mean New World's better?
I mean, I guess
I don't know if I could take another controversial take today like that.
I personally don't like
till
playing.
next
I don't
podcast.
even like. That's the thing. Like, if you were just judging things off of face value, if I see a game that says mixed, I normally don't even entertain it. I'm like, And you gotta keep in mind on the Destiny 2 here. Destiny 2 final shape was that mostly positive.
That's also not surprising. Like, yeah, we're saying, oh my gosh, Edge of Fate's overwhelmingly negative. That's not surprising. You know what player sentiment's like. Final shaping overwhelmingly positive. Also not surprising. People aren't really rating the whole year.
Okay.
They're rating their experience with
Destiny 2
expansion.
Lightfall is at mostly negative. Not even overwhelming. We're at overwhelming territory.
Cross. You don't think Lightfall? You don't think Lightfall provided us more in terms of like it gave a strand. It was the build up to the final shape. Even if it was shit, like mostly negative doesn't surprise me at all.
So you now agree that Edge of Fate was not worth $40. I'm glad we made this. I'm glad we made it up. Thank you very much, Liv. Thank you so much.
That's not actually what just came out of my mouth, but I'm just saying. Yeah, he was waiting for that one. I never said Lightfall. I never said that I was like on a massive Lightfall like hate train though either. I've never been on a massive hate train ever for Destiny. I just think Lightfall was like extremely negatively received and for good reason. What the fuck is the Veil campaign was ass.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
These Renegades worth $40.
I will say this. Everyone or some people are going through and absolutely dunking on all the reviews here on Steam for Destiny. What I've seen is across the board, all recent reviews have been like negative. So yeah. People are upset.
You can change your review at any time, and so people take their previously positive review and they go change it when they uninstall a game or when they quit a game, and they're like, "I fucking hate this game," and then it just, it's negative until they one day decide to reinstall it or never do. So yeah, you see a lot of like, it's the same people that reviewed the game 5, 6, whatever, however many years ago, because you can only review it once, but you go in and edit your review and you put it as a 1 star, and then so it shifts overall.
But you can't say that's not a deterrent from new players though.
Oh, it is. No. I'm completely agreeing with you. That is those ratings are awful. Of course, it's deterring new players.
You did the new player experience. You got hit with by the final shape first page you open.
No,
So,
I think what's more telling is the data that you reviewed this past week, where we know how many it's objective. It's not a discussion or a debate. We know how many new players are trying the game each day, and it is lower than it has been in a very long time.
These new sandbox changes were nice.
Dude, there's more sandbox changes we're gonna get in the roadmap too.
This just kind of made it more fun for me.
I will say this: I like the Warlock changes, man. The Warlock changes.
I like all the changes.
Have been really good.
Changes have been good.
The stasis changes to Titan, I was not expecting to do much. Fantastic. You know what I mean?
It's made it enjoyable.
Yep. And so, man, it's such a fucking weird situation we're in with damn Destiny. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a fun damn game to play. Pisses me off. You get the shit together.
Yeah.
And you know, and like also like at the end of the day, what is the goal? I like what Cammy said. The goal, the thing, all suggestions need to come back to how can we get more people playing the fucking game? That's it. Yeah. That is the unified goal across the board. And if whatever decision you make inside at Bungie internally does not aid in that endeavor, then fuck you. That is, you know, you don't need to make decisions. Not that anyone's making decisions, by the way, that would lose players. But I don't know. There's a lot of internal data. Why are we back on this? Why are we talking about this? We're supposed to be concluding.
We're supposed to be concluding.
There's a lot of internal data that only Bungie has access to. We got a snip of it here, but I want to know, at what point did the new player quit? Was it at 30 minutes?
They saw by the final shape.
Was it when their mouse cursor saw that they have to purchase final shape? You know what I mean? Like there is just a lot of data that we don't have access to, that Bungie's just they're just going to have to make a lot of their own calls themselves. All right.
Just make a D3. Just get it over with. Make a D3, bro. Restart. Everyone on even playing field. Done. Simple. Take 5 years to make if you need to.
Oh, you can't roll in there with fucking... Look. This is where I'm talking about. This is why a Destiny Classic would be good.
Oh my God.
You got people that just want to buy their exotics and their season pass every fucking season. You know what I mean? Keep those casual fucks in Destiny 2 and let us go back to fucking Destiny Classic.
I can't believe how much I agree with this take.
You could separate.
He's hesitantly agreeing.
Get the people back who actually care about grinding the stuff.
But you can keep us in Destiny Classic, and then Destiny 2. You guys go as casual as you want. You guys, everybody can have powerful weapons. You know what I mean? Bosses, you don't have to shoot on them. You just kind of have to look at them. They just fall over. You know what I mean? You can make Destiny 2 the most casual, approachable game in all the universe. I hope it works out for you guys. But then bring us back with Destiny 1. Make things actually fucking matter. Make fucking exotics rare and all that shit.
Can you imagine 1 head, 2 body, 140 hand cannon? God dang. We would.
Unless you think it's just no. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like you don't go in there and just give us 1-to-1 exactly what we had back in Destiny 1. And by the way, you're speaking from a year 3 perspective. Not year 1 perspective.
Y'all are probably so tired of hearing me say it, but I just need more raids. I just need a raid.
I'm obsessed.
You.
2 per year was nice.
Luke, I need 2 raids. I need 2 raids, and I'll be happy, you know, even more if they'd like to do that one day. I'm obviously kidding. I know that's not going to happen, but I low-manned Epic Desert Perpetual earlier this week. Like, we did trio, and it was the most enjoyable experience I've had in Destiny, and I cannot recall the last time I had that much fun in the game.
Okay, Liv. Okay.
It's so good.
I was told this year.
I just want to raid so bad.
It's going to be worth. I was told that.
Yeah, Lev. You're the one that said that this is worth $40. What the fuck are you talking about?
This is worth 40. No, it's not $100.
You said it's worth. You said it was worth double. Huh? What the hell are you talking about?
I just spent $100 on Pokemon ZA. So again, I'm not the person.
Now you just flexing how much you spending on video games now.
Exactly.
Must be nice. Must be nice. Put that on dollars.
All right. Someone like having 2 raids a year.
All I'm saying is I'm not the person to be like $40 is not worth it. I understand that is an insane price tag on a game in general. Okay, Arc Raiders cost $40. Like, don't tell me I'm out of touch. I understand that, like, that is crazy. No, you're just trying to get me eaten alive in the comments. I'm just saying. Edupate is bad.
1 raid, 1 dungeon was enough.
Bad. We talked. I didn't say that was enough. I just said, man, this is the new Bungie. Like, it's not enough. I want 7 raids. I want 7 raids a year, Bungie. Like, I can start saying stupid shit like that. I'm just saying. Like,
I wanted 1 raid, 1 reprisal, 2 dungeons a year. That's all I wanted. I couldn't give a shit about anything else.
They took that away from us.
Y'all are just pushing my buttons. I just know, like, yeah, I would love to be able to do the raids from back in the day that I've never been able to do because I didn't play Destiny back then. I would fucking love that. They do need to reprise all their raids. I'm not saying that less content's ever acceptable. We said this. We're like, Bungie's gonna try a bunch of new shit this year. Let's see if it goes well or if it doesn't. Well, guess what? It didn't go well. So
this is the first time people are actually speaking with their wallet and the time.
Right. Exactly.
That's his history.
Exactly. So
yeah, screw it. Wait, I'm fine with waiting a couple of years until D3. I have the same opinion when it comes to like anime too. It's like they try to push these things out like every single year and like the animation quality goes down.
I hate the movie shit. I hate the movie shit.
I also kind of not a huge fan.
Dude,
of it. I mean, there's some good movies. There's some really good movies.
Did you guys watch the Demon Slayer Infinity Arc thingy, Bob?
I've only watched the Train Arc movie, but I haven't watched any of the.
I'm so tired of these anime studios making one arc like 4 different movies. It's like, dude,
money. They make
I
know it's money, but damn it, dude.
JJK's like new movie it's like a combination of like the recent season and then a piece, I think, of the beginning of Calling Games. So I was like, yeah, man, I'm not a big fan of it. It's really weird.
Frieren is the greatest anime ever made. Nothing else compares. Frieren.
Really? I need to watch it. I read
what did you say?
Some of the manga and I thought it was pretty boring.
Well, I can't hear you because.
All right, I guess it's pronounced Frieren. Frieren is the greatest anime ever made.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. I'll watch it right after this. How many episodes? How long is it?
26 episodes.
That's the greatest anime ever, really? 26 episodes?
Les, you need to watch it. You got to remove yourself from the immediate.
He's gonna say One Piece is shit.
Dopamine satisfaction.
It's coming.
No. Only the most cultured anime watchers could even appreciate something like Frieren. You know, there are people that like Black Clover, and then there are real anime fans that like Frieren.
Cross, have you watched?
Wait, so you're saying Black Clover? You don't like Black Clover?
No,
he doesn't like Black Clover.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just trying to make sure the stance is clear.
Yeah.
My favorite's To Your Eternity, and that's going to be a hard to beat. But I'll give Frieren.
I don't like shows that are just depressing to be depressing.
Okay, then that makes a lot of sense.
You know what I mean?
I didn't think that's
like,
why I like it.
Who wrote that shit? You know, just like there's like another man. You're lying, April. Let's just be sad, man. I don't want
April is depressing. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we could talk about anime all day long, but I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Anime podcast.
Goodbye.
Yeah, anime
I have
podcast.
to go raid. I'm going to raid as usual.
GG's everybody. Y'all have a good night.
Peace. Bye.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.